Last session, the company of the Twilight Star woke from a much-needed long rest, following the Hill Giant siege in which you were victorious. And after the drinking, dancing, darting, partying, and finally the bizarre tavern brawling in which the participants were not so victorious. You went downstairs to inspect the kitchen, and Vane was dismayed to find that it was already in use. The new barkeep explained that she had not received any such warning about the kitchen being cordoned off. You were frustrated that any potential evidence may have been tampered with, and let this annoyance known to the barkeep, who basically dismissed your concerns. You turned away from the contentious conversation, with Roshana reasoning with you all that arguing with the townsfolk would not get you anywhere. These people are doing their best to return to their lives before the giants, and are less likely to suspect that a mere tavern brawl would suggest subterfuge at play with no evidence on your end, and with you all being new in town. In addition, it did not seem like the Venators were concerned with the matter either. Miffed, Vane suggested that if no one here is concerned, that maybe you should just leave Daglian altogether. After speaking and warning Madame Cherie first of all, Roshana quipped. As if on cue, Madame Cherie, dressed in her bedroom finery, descended the stairs, and Vane warned her that something may have been tampered with. And while you have no evidence to show, you did have a hunch, which was enough for Madame Cherie to take her concerns to heart. She also spoke with Roshana, apologising on the off chance it was something in her establishment that caused Roshana to become paranoid and lose control of herself. Madame Cherie stated that she would see to it that her tavern is investigated, before thanking you all for your hard work here in Daglian, and asked that you stop by again sometime. Deciding to make your exit, the party headed over to the Ventur's HQ, where you spoke with Ventur Sign Truemark, wherein he thanked you once more for your assistance, and wished you the best as you took your leave. Before leaving, Rook remarked that the brawl in the tavern last night seemed off, given that one of your party uncharacteristically was drawn into the fray, and perhaps it would be best for the Venters, who are trusted in the town, to investigate, rather than you blow-ins who could be misunderstood for inciting fear. You also highlighted the importance of the crown in the Hill Giant King's possession, that you believed to be greatly involved and a potential cause of this entire mess, and asked that the Venators keep an eye out for it. Ventur Truemark stated that he would contact the hunting party to ensure that it is in their possession, rather than letting this whole debacle start up again, and if not, then he would contact you. With your goodbyes all done, you returned to the stables beside the Rampant Rabbit Tavern, checking in with the rested and well-fed horses Steph and Tiff. While you attached the cart to the horses and set yourselves up for travel, Vane sent a message to Lord Dwanier, and you learned that he has left your reward for collection at the guild. With that slightly dubious consent to return home, you then discussed which route to take back to the city. As you debated on whether you should go through the forest again, Vane mentioned that he would like to go through Faernfurth and visit Blinkboy again, which the rest of you were reticent to do, and recalled that you had not told Vane about your deeds to bring him back from the dead. You gave Vane a somewhat watered-down version of the events after his passing and before his resurrection, i.e. the collecting of a certain gem from beneath the large oak tree in the centre of Faernfurth, that you gave to Granny Gretfern in exchange for Vane's return. Despite this, Vane thought it best for you to head back the Faernfurth way anyway, to see how the village is faring after your efforts, and perhaps you could pick up some more honey-based goods in Milan on your way. With your course set, the company of the Twilight Star headed back out of Daglian, spending the next 2 weeks travelling through the now comparatively quiet and serene Shallow Valley, the sightings of the hill giants now significantly diminished. You passed by the small roads of Addleston, where you saw a number of Kingsguard camps that had travelled through the now cleared tunnel from Brindisi, suggesting that the area containing the dilapidated village had been reclaimed once more. On your journey, Cato contemplated On the Brain on the Stick, while Rook began to study his astromancy archive, which depicts constellations from a forgotten age. Meanwhile, Roshana periodically checked over Vane and his seemingly changing appearance. He has sprouted new nubbins on his horns, and his nails have turned black and slightly warty in appearance. In his inspection, Vane inadvertently ripped out one of his nails from its nail bed. Rishana bandaged him up as Vane had a panic attack over whether he could continue to play his instruments. A week into this journey stretch, Cato noted that a new message had been received in the journal from the guild, which declared that you were all in a state of emergency. There is a new storm over Clan Cymru, and all parties were advised not to return to the kingdom until further notice. Still being in the kingdom yourselves, you responded in the journal, asking what your plan should be. You were told that the guild were unsure if you would be allowed entry back into the city, and so it was advised that you use your Sanctum Stone if you had not already done so. But you had already done so. Cato had thought perhaps that a trip to Cadmia would be an idea to follow up a hunch that he has. However, given that you didn't know if you should leave Colburn either, you decided it best to try to at least get back into the city, so that you could collect your reward, sell your monster parts, and at least speak with the guild heads face to face. Vane sent a message to Venture Thicket Wiles for assistance, seeing as he requested you to leave the city for this quest, to perhaps see about assuring your entry at the Clan Cymru gates. He responded that he would see what he could do. In the meantime, you continued on the path that you were on, arriving at Milan and catching up with Jean at the Cuckoo's Pint Inn. You did some light shopping of honey, soap, sweets, books, and crackling mead, and Rook made a larger splurge, purchasing the bobbing amber antenna headwear to substitute his broken tooth headband. Afterwards, you made a stop to see Ilan outside his workshop next to the Rumblebum beehives. The bees were out in full force as you approached, their large forms flitting around the different hives. After greetings were exchanged, Ilan revealed that he and the bees were quite perturbed by the oncoming storm from the north, deeming it a bad omen on the horizon. After speaking with the bees, Ilan revealed that there appears to be no energy emanating from the cloud cover, which might go some way to explain why the bees were so distressed, given their usual love for the thunderstorms in Milan. Curious, Rook threw his pocket owl into the air, looking through its eyes to see a brown cloud blanket storm slowly creeping towards you, insidious and not producing any lightning that you could see. Unsure of the cause of the storm, you said your goodbyes to Ilan, promising to visit him again sometime, before heading back to the Cuckoo's Pint for dinner, dessert, and a few drinks. As you all bedded down to sleep, Cato noticed that Emilla, the largest moon in the sky, was in her full glory. He took the book with the eye emblazoned on the front from Rook, and opened its pages towards it, but nothing happened. With that, you resumed your travel for another 3 days, until you reached the edge of the Tarnished Forest. Thankfully, your trek through the forest was a lot quieter than the first, though the quiet was briefly interrupted by the sound of Vane yelping as he had pulled another one of his nails out. Rook also periodically casted Produce Flame to see if this encroaching storm had any effect on your magics. Setting up camp for the night, Vane also noticed 2 halves of a donut-shaped stone in his pack, though he was unsure of where they came from. Not having heard from the guild or the Venters in this time, Vane also sent a message to Clerk, twice, but his responses were clipped and he appeared to be having a malfunction. You wondered if the storm had something to do with this, or if perhaps Clerk needed to go for maintenance again. You also decided to send a message to Fern, but all you got on the other end were incomprehensible shrieks. She seemed to be having a rough time, which gave you pause. After a successful night's rest, Rook became aware that the storm had crested over you while he was waiting for dawn to arrive. Which it did, but the sun had not, and everyone then awoke to darkness, as did the surrounding flora and fauna, who were very agitated and disgruntled by the lack of sun. After testing his magics, Rook deemed that you still had your capabilities, and could still feel his connection to the sky above. But the brown clouds above trapped the warming summer air beneath, and the darkness made your travel uncomfortable. You arrived in Faernfurth, finally seeing the storm-covered sky fully for the first time, and you were greeted by a perturbed Blink Boy, who was barking incessantly at the clouds above. Whilst the rest of you made to check out the health of the tree in the centre of the village before heading over to the Hair of the Blink Dog Tavern, Vane tricked over to the apothecary. Inside, he met once more with the rather eccentric individual who noted that Vane's blood reeked and did not seem natural. At Vane's confusion, the apothecarian explained that it seemed that the temporary master of the forest, i.e. Granny Gretfern, had taken a liking to him, and has turned him into one of her own. Her blood is now within Vane's marrow, making him a twisted creature called a hexblood. The apothecarian shared that they were the same, related to Fae who once called the Tarnished Forest home, but were ousted some time ago, yet their blood remains. It would seem, however, that Vane does not belong anywhere. Despite Vane's insistence for their help explaining what it means to be a hexblood, the apothecarian instead suggested speaking more to his mother, and to be sure to ask the right questions of her, if he wants satisfactory answers. On inspecting this individual, they did not appear to have the same nails as Vane, or any growths on their heads like the ones on his horns, and he dejectedly returned to find the rest of you. Rook and Cato did sneak into the apothecary as well, to exchange the giant's eyes daisies, plus 100 gold pieces, with the apothecarian, in exchange for 2 potions of enlargement, before leaving the apothecarian's presence. Entering the tavern, you found it to be quite busy, with all the patrons seemingly battered and beaten, and quite pissed, as they nursed their drinks and their wounds. You spoke with the barkeep Hernan, who congratulated you on your work in Daglian, which was evident by the new faces in the bar. Hernan pointed out 2 groups to you, one from Gratzem, who brought a shipment of ale with them that Hernan took up to replenish and expand his stock, and the second group from Damorsag, who had come up the Hallion route but were turned away at the gate to Clancomrie. On asking about the patrons, Hernan went on to explain that the storm and lack of light meant their work in the orchards had been cancelled for the time being, and tensions were high. Thankfully though, a certain gentleman did not seem to be in attendance to add to any potential violence. On being offered a drink of Gratzem gruel on the house, Rashana deduced that this was the same libation that was offered down in Daglian the night of the tavern brawl, and what the battered patrons were seemingly nursing themselves with here. She opted instead for a few ciders, and picked up a few drinks for the dejected-looking Vane. While this was happening, Rook took a minute outside with the large oak tree in the centre of the village, looking over it more thoroughly, before casting Speak with Plants to talk to it directly. The tree revealed that it could not appreciate the storm overhead, but that it was fearful as the protective forces around it were now gone, and the ground it was embedded in was becoming bereft of nutrients. The forest around it, the tree described, was also silent, far too silent for its liking. Rook passed on his condolences, fearing that the protections cannot be returned until later, and sat down by the tree for a bit, with his head down. Sensing the sombre atmosphere within the tavern, Blinkboy laid his head on Roshana's lap, and whined, as she and Cato discussed whether the spiteful looks between the patrons were due to the new booze or to the storm overhead, respectively. With Rook returning to the tavern, he and Roshana decided to speak with the merchant group from Damorsag, who you learned were having quite the bad string of luck, having travelled all this way just to be turned away at the gate. On learning that they had taken the Hallion route here, you informed them that, thanks to your work, the Brindisi-Vadelston route was now clear, to which they took your company's name, should they be in need of sellswords in the future, and you learned that the troop's leader is called Barzu, a Harfork gentleman dressed in the finery that he sells. You learned that this group also planned to travel to Hibernus, but took a wrong turn and now were in Faernfurth. Another tally to their list of laments. You give them directions using your map, and in thanks you got to meet and pet their cherry red-furred and blue and yellow-winged Tressum, named Tingle. With the darkness of noon messing with everyone's mood and potentially your sleep cycles moving forward, Roshana headed out into the centre of the village and casted daylight near the large oak tree, in the hopes of boosting some spirits, as well as shocking some of them from their drink, brawl, or darkness-induced stupors. For an hour, at least. Back inside the tavern, you sat with Vane, who had yet to touch his drink, as he was dealing with the revelations he had been given about his person. You promised that you would work through things, and get the answers he needs eventually, and that change need not always be bad. In the meantime, you planned to return to the city, and perhaps you could find some answers there. And that is where we will pick up. Okay.
How late into the evening is it currently?
I mean, it's only about 2 in the afternoon at this point.
Excellent.
Yeah, it just looks dark because storm.
Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Rook is going to take an early rest tonight because there's something he wants to do in the morning, and he wants to not impede travel as much as possible. So he's going to call it early. Maybe not 2 p.m. early, but what time do we usually set out at?
8, 9-ish.
8, 9-ish.
I mean, you guys all wake up at the ass crack of dawn, and then, I suppose, after eating and getting everyone set up, armor on.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically just so you can let me know exactly what I would need to do to accomplish this without... I don't mind if we have to, spend an extended, 2 or 4 hours before we head off. But Rook wants to go to bed early so that when he gets up, he can have reorganized his spells and begun casting the 8-hour version of plant growth.
Okay.
To revitalize the soil beneath the tree, and try to, use a bit of his druidic energy to give it an advantage in the trials to come.
You can
You
certainly
can
do.
paste the spell in the chat if you like, or we can wait until we get there.
I think I'll wait until we get there. Just in case
So
there's
I
something
mean,
else that you guys want to do.
Yeah, I think Vane, to be honest, is going to be very much internalizing. So he'll probably if you want to get an early night, he's more than happy to just stare at the ceiling for a bit, kind of thinking.
Is Vane's audio fluctuating for anyone
It is a
else?
little bit.
Okay, well, sure if it was just me.
Can you speak for a bit, Vane, just so we can see if it's
Hello, this is Vane. No longer tiefling man.
You might need to
Yeah.
sit closer to the mic. It's like...
I don't know if it's his distance because I find it hard to imagine that he's just flopping back and forth in his chair.
I don't know. Are you?
I am a
No,
bobblehead. No.
It could be something to do with
it's-
the noise reduction, because I think it's whenever you start
Yeah.
speaking, you start off quite strongly and high, and then when you teeter off, it gets lower. So, which is not a pleasant way to describe someone's talking pattern, but just for the sake of debug.
Give me a minute.
It's not a huge deal. I just figured I'd mention it. Do we know what happened with the kid we brought back? Or
Kid?
Are you so if you're referring to the younger kid, we left him still with his father. I believe he had a older brother that was out, playing with the man-faced dogs. Presumably, we never actually found him. We just, got beat up by Granny Grashford. For all we know, he could have been, boiling in a pot of stew behind the house. because we weren't allowed to look back there.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah, just trying to think of what else we could do.
I mean, we can certainly ask.
I'm trying to think of where the father might be.
I mean, you might be better off asking the school teacher.
True, that is fair. 2 p.m. You know what? I got out of school at 2 p.m. So I'm gonna go over to the school.
Okay.
Yeah.
You head back out into the dark night. Well, not night, but might as well be. It's
Dark
incredibly dreary.
day.
Dark day, yep. There's 2 rooks! Oh no!
Why is that a bad thing?
Don't touch. You'll cause a time paradox.
Well, this party's history with doppelgangers. Need to be careful. You head over to the school, and you do see the lights are on at the back of the building. Where you know that the teacher has a little bit of a studio going.
Oh, so she's preoccupied.
I mean, the lights on in her house, basically. You can knock.
Well, I guess I'm asking if she's like in the middle of a class, or it's like
Okay,
just
so,
her, or
you know, the front of the building is where the school bit is kind of kept, and then the back of the building is
Yeah.
where she lives. The bit of the back of the building, the light is on.
okay. Yeah, I will just go up and knock.
You wrap your hand against the wood of the door, and you hear movement from behind before the lock turns and the door opens, and you see Sheila, the school teacher. Good to see you again.
Yes, likewise. I just wanted to pose some questions. If they had found the older kid at all.
You see that she kind of like rubs at the back of her neck, looks down.
I see.
I had organised a party to look for the boys. But it's been a few weeks now, and we're none the wiser. I'd say about a 10-day after you left, someone had spotted the boy, Tolbrin, out in the woods, and his father went chasing after him. And we haven't seen either of them or young Toby since. All 3 of them are now
Oh.
gone. The house is now empty.
I see. Do you know which way into the woods they went?
It's over this direction.
Okay. I see. Have any other rescue parties have been made up to go look for them?
Not since. The trails went cold. We haven't. Nobody spotted them since.
Did they say anything before they left?
Dirgil was shouting as usual. I'm presuming he was shouting at Tolbrin, but
I see. Well, thank you for the information. I won't take up much more of your time.
yes. You see, she's just kind of lost in thought as she just closes the door and retreats back into her house.
You will go back to the party.
Oh, guys, shush, he's back.
Well, I figured I should check in on the kid and his father.
And? Did you see them?
No, apparently they saw Tolbrin, the older kid, and they went running off into the woods after him. That was 10 days after we had left, and they haven't been seen since.
Oh.
It seems like a couple of search parties have gone looking, but have come back with nothing.
The father ran off with the child?
Yes, the father and the younger are now missing as well.
Vane puts her finger to his lips and kind of thinks a second. What was his name? The father, do we know? Can't remember.
I am blanking as well.
Can I look over at the barkeep?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Do you remember last time we were here that drunk gentleman that I had a word with about his child?
Ah, you see, Hernan puts down the cup that he was cleaning. Yeah, sad state of affairs.
Yes, I hear that they've disappeared as such.
Seems to be the case.
What was the fellow's name?
Dirgil.
Dirgil?
Yes.
Okay. Can I mentally get an image of him? I'm going to think about him when he was sat at the bar and aggravating me with his presence.
Yeah, easy enough. You remember this hulking man, red-faced from drink, kept rustling his belt.
Yeah, and obviously the name Dirgil. And I would like to cast Sending.
Okay, go for it.
And basically, I'm gonna say, hello, Dirgil. This is Vane, Purple Man from Bar. We are worried about you and kids. Where are you? That should be 19.
Mm-hmm.
You can reply.
You got 3 words left.
20. Squash. Tingle. Pringle. just to
Okay.
get my money's worth. I won't add the last 3 words if I don't need to. It doesn't have to be exactly 25, does it? It's up to 25.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be, but you've done it now, so.
Your last 3 words could have been 25-word response.
He was a man of few words anyway. I hope that he doesn't come back with an essay.
Okay. Vane,
Is my
you
mic a
begin-
bit better?
It is, yes.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
You begin humming a little tune as you focus in on the imposing form and visage of Durgil before speaking the words out into the universe.
Oh.
They don't find purchase.
Hmm.
Oh.
Sorry, give me 2 seconds. Just reading this.
Well,
It
he's
is-
dead.
Yeah, I was going to say it works on different planes of existence, any distance.
Well, with a 95% accuracy.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't roll anything though. So.
Oh, I
As
get
far as
a
I'm aware.
roll for that, to be fair.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. It didn't feel like the spell connected.
Well, if you have it in you, perhaps try the younger boy.
Wasn't he like a child, like not a very speaky child?
Something like that.
I mean, I can give it a go. Can I? Trying to remember the kid's name now. I swear I wrote it down. But this whole session that I've got written down was mostly about Blink Dog. every single note, it's like Blink Dog's so cute. Barrels, good points. Can I try and can I ask the barkeep again? I'm sorry. What the small child? What was his name?
Oh, Durgil's boy.
Yeah. I don't know why I said yeah.
Toby, I think.
Toby. The best nose in the British Empire. Sorry. I will think about Kid in Puddle and the word Toby, and I will try and send a message to Toby.
Okay, go for it.
Would you like me to put sending again, or?
Sure, throw it up, please.
Okay. Hello, Toby. Don't fear. I'm a friend. Just wondering where you are and if you are safe. You can respond.
Okay. You...
Goo goo gaga.
Yeah, the rest of you just hear Vane say "goo goo gaga" to himself
Hmm.
as the message is sent out into the universe. Couple of moments pass.
Oof.
Hello?
Oof.
Hello? Who are you? It's a frog. And that's all you get.
Okay.
So we know there's a frog.
Yeah.
It's a very good start.
I mean, the good.
Castrate
I think.
animals
I think
on the god.
the good start. I think was him the spell connecting. The frog was just an added bonus.
I'll find the closest frog within 5 miles and bring it back for questioning.
God.
You get 500 pings outside. Right outside the tavern.
Walks up to frog, sees child, picks up frog, walks away. One step at a time.
Can I cast comprehend languages?
Mhm.
And then I will look at Rook and say, "Would you mind speaking to Blink Dog?"
Sure. Yeah.
Ask him if he knows of places with frogs, or if he knows where the child is. Ideally.
I'll look around to see if I can see Blink. Oh, he's here.
Yep.
There he is.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining him with his face on the table staring at us.
Sorry, from my vantage point, I couldn't see him over the table.
You're just a wee man. We know. Yep.
Yeah. Hello. Good boy. I say in Sylvan. Hey, two questions. Well, three. Do you remember Toby, the little boy?
And you see, again, it's been a while since he's heard Sylvan, but at the mention of Toby's name, you see his tail starts wagging, thumping against the ground.
I don't think I need comprehend languages to understand that.
We were told that his father and him went running after his older brother and may have gotten lost. My friend Vane here just spoke with Toby, and apparently he can see a frog. Do you know either where Toby might be or where that frog might be?
You see, he tilts his head to the side, a little bit confused.
Yeah, I know.
Perhaps try just find Toby.
What's that, boy? Do you know where Toby is? Do you want to bring us to Toby?
Stuck down a well?
You see, he kind of lowers his head and slowly begins walking out the tavern past you, Rook, and towards the front door, passing by
Yeah.
this group of... God damn it. Okay.
They all move
Oh.
for the dog.
They
as
do
they should.
indeed.
Hang on, sorry. I was trying to move myself, but I accidentally drew 3 yellow lines and then deleted myself.
You only deleted
Right.
2. There we go. Okay. At the front, you see Toby kind of sniffs the air.
Toby?
Not
Toby
Toby.
sniffing the
Fucking
air?
It's
dog.
a Full
Oh my
Metal
God.
Alchemist thing all over again.
No!
No, not like this.
Sorry, my family had a dog called Toby at some point, so it's natural reaction.
Hey, I also had a dog called Toby.
Big boy who stands at the front and sniffs the air. And Vane, if you head out with them, you understand.
I will, but I can't drag my token on the thing. I think my browser's frozen. Can we do something?
You've disappeared altogether.
Yeah, I just rebooted.
Anyway,
Hey, I'm back. Cool. Meow.
you head out with them, and
Oh, sorry, Blink Boy.
you hear Blink Boy say, I can't smell him.
He says you can't smell him.
Well, probably because he's not in the town.
Oh, the father was stinky, wasn't he? He was a stinky man. Can you find him? Say that to him, Rook.
Toby's father had a very distinct scent. Do you think you'd be able to find it? Vane, it may have been too long to catch the scent. Or any rain
Oh,
at
it was
all.
only a few weeks ago.
You see,
Maybe a month.
Blink Boy sneezes and no, he can't smell Dirgil either.
Well, thank you for trying, and I give him a big stroke on the head. And I get his little, like, under chin bit.
And he says to you, Vane, you're stinky.
Well, what do I smell like? Rook, ask him what I smell like.
Hey, Vane wants to know what he smells like.
Yeah. Blink Boy reaches his head forward where you're patting his head and kind of like begins pressing his nose into the palm of your hand and then kind of like chomps down on your hand a little bit. Without biting, just,
Yeah.
like he's holding your hand basically.
A tester, yeah.
Blood.
Tastes like blood. I turn to Rook. Do I smell funny to you?
I turn to the DM. Does Vane smell funny to me?
Give me a perception check, please.
The DM turns to Vane. Vane, do you smell funny?
Ooh, very nice.
It's a pungent smell.
Off of Vane, Vane has been using the different soaps that he purchased, I'd assume.
Oh, 100%. And
when-
I've got my
Yeah, when time
fragrance.
permitted, the various honeyed scented soaps that he got picked up in Milan. There's also a certain waft coming from the little vial that he carries around his neck. But aside from that, no smell.
All normal to me.
Well, interesting.
Could be
Sorry,
a fey
Blink
thing.
Boy. Well, this hex blood business is confusing, and that has blood in the name, so who knows?
Oh,
Does Blink Boy know where any frogs might hang out?
I mean, look, we're in a forest, Vane.
Well, I know, but
If we follow the water, or if there's ponds around, then there'll be frogs.
that's. Hang on, I have an idea. I would like to cast my third and final sending.
Okay.
Wait, what? Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah?
Okay, I can't hear
Oh my
you.
gosh.
You get fucked.
Sorry. Are you casting sending to the Grand High Froggo?
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, sorry, I don't know what's happened. My fucking audio just went completely weird. Did you say something?
Who are you casting sending to?
To Toby.
Okay.
Hang on, I'm trying to find it. Right. So basically, I'm gonna say, hello again, Toby. We're going to try and find you. Try and find you. Can you see any water or rivers or any or anything landmarky? I don't know if he's old enough to know what a landmark is. Probably not. But that's the send the message. Should be 20 words, I think.
Hello. Hello.
That's it.
Sorry?
It just screamed.
Oh, I didn't hear. Oh, I didn't hear you. It was just completely silent. I thought my audio had gone again.
Did the rest of you hear?
No, I imagine
No.
your like noise suppression probably just cancelled it if it
Oh,
was
for
too high
God's sake,
pitched.
I hate Discord. Okay,
Mhm.
see here.
It was
Hello,
a scream.
hello, and then like he was panicking.
Man, learn to answer questions. If you'd had a better father, you wouldn't have known this. Jesus.
Oof.
Yes, and that's his fault.
Entirely.
Just have better parents. Duh.
Let's sit down and have a ponder. I'm sure we can find some way of.
It's possible, though I hope it wouldn't be true. That if he reacted negatively at the end of your last return message, that
Yes.
perhaps he was caught speaking by someone, or something that he's afraid of heard him speaking. We can't exactly trial the whole forest ourselves. It would take, months.
But we do know a group of individuals who can move relatively freely through the
That's what I
forest.
was going to say. We could go in and attempt to make contact with the Fae that we had met before and ask them about the current state of the forest. That may push us into another confrontation with the hag if she's still there.
Well,
Hmm.
apparently now we're related, so hopefully she wouldn't eat me again.
Vane,
Is that how that works?
I think you've gotten a first-hand introduction to how fondness for hags works.
Indeed.
The best one can hope for is to be gleefully ignored.
Well, yes. So, do we think we should potentially... I will have used all of my spells, or all of my stronger spells. I'm just thinking perhaps we stay here, come up with a plan, and then tomorrow we can... I can send a message to one of the Fae, either the elemental water spirit, because she was very nice, or the elephant trunk man.
I don't think either of those spoke.
Oh,
Also,
yes, actually.
you would probably need to cast comprehend languages before you attempt to speak with the elephant one.
What was the was it Gary?
The sprite.
Yes. The one that sort of took us to the unicorn. Gary. Was it Gary?
I mean, like, we can only hope that his fondness for us has equaled out into neutrality, because he was quite against our involvement.
But we did do the task they asked of us.
Sure. But again, we don't know if the hag left.
True.
I mean, we could go back.
To the pond or to the hag?
Both.
Going to the hag might be a recipe for disaster, especially on the slim chance that they're not involved.
Hmm.
I mean, do we think that trip through giant territory has taught us enough, has garnered us enough experience to contend with such a being in a way that doesn't involve bargaining?
Probably not.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I would much rather deal with the Fae of the Forest. Her.
Rook, do you
At the
have
very
any
least.
means of locating a person?
Was the sprite's name's Gary?
I'm pretty sure it was, yeah.
I think his name was Gary. I mean, I can try and contact him in the morning. He spoke
Can help.
common.
To answer your question, Roshana, the act of locating a creature is a level of magic that's beyond me.
Okay, I was wondering if I could try the same. I can locate an object, but that's it.
Oh, perhaps you could talk to the trees.
Sure.
They might talk to each other and be able to sort of give a general idea. Or they might be able to send a message to the Fae.
I mean, maybe. It would really depend on whether there's a Fae with them that's in tune with nature in that way. When you speak with plants, they're usually able to tell you some basic information about either the area in general or what's happened in the immediate area around them.
I see.
Our best bet would be to touch base with the Fae.
Yes. Well, I would need to rest up to send another message. Though I do feel awful about leaving the child out there on his own, but he has technically been out there for a while, so.
I mean, the only other thing we could do is this late into the evening we could attempt to push out into the back into the forest.
I mean, it's not late in the evening, is it?
Well, I just mean we've already did a bit of traveling today already.
Oh, I see. You're saying we can make...
There's only so much we can push ourselves and our horses to do. And we already got this far through the forest without the Fae approaching us, so we would have to make an effort to garner their attention on the way back in.
We didn't hear any singing this time.
No. I mean, to be honest, perhaps after getting that gem, Granny Gredford has taken a more stronger hold on the forest. We don't even know if the Fae are still here.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
Makes me uncomfortable.
I mean, I'm not happy about it, but I don't have any regrets.
I appreciate that. Nor do I blame you. I probably would have done the same myself. I don't know. Have to ponder if my life is worth all this. But alas, it's done. We need to come up with some kind of a plan. As I say, I can try and contact Gary in the morning. Or if we'd like to push in to the forest slightly, and then I contact Gary in the morning anyway. At least we'll be in the forest.
I kind of want to keep an eye on the people here.
Same.
That's understandable.
I mean,
You
you
think
see,
more will go missing?
Roshana closed the door behind her, and she says, "The drinks that everyone are drinking, they are the same that were in Daglian. And it looks like
Hmm.
everyone here had to fight too."
What would all of this gain? What would be the end goal of causing bar fights in?
Well, that would imply that there even needed to be one. Some people just like to cause trouble.
Chaos is certainly one possible goal.
Causing rifts within communities, I suppose, maybe. We saw what happened in Daglian. I mean, granted, they were technically two different communities, but
we were outsiders there, and I heard, or I thought I heard. It sounded real to me.
yes, but what I mean is, the whoever is doing this with this alcohol, assuming that's what it is, could be trying to create rifts within the communities, which obviously, I mean, if you're not even part of that community and you were affected, that shows how potent it would be within a community where people talk.
Yeah.
And there are grudges already.
I don't know. I don't. It just feels dangerous.
Yes. How did, apart from the sort of thinking you were hearing people talking and saying things, was there any other feeling? Or, I mean, I know you were kind of pissed, but
Well, I can.
apart from like the usual drunken feelings, was there anything?
I mean,
that
I've had stronger drinks, but I didn't feel quite as inebriated as I did back in Daglian.
Hmm.
It seemed very. I mean, I could taste the alcohol, and it wasn't that strong, but I still felt.
It wasn't the alcohol having the effect.
Maybe I felt more inebriated, even though I drank less, if that makes sense.
Yes. Like it has some sort of energizer for the for the alcohol, or
Maybe, mind you, I was also exhausted after being knocked unconscious.
yeah,
And
that is true.
being in the giant's mouth, that wasn't pleasant.
You had a long day.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can spend the evening. I mean, I'm happy to spend the evening here with Blink Dog, keeping an eye on the patrons, and then in the morning sending a message to Gary and seeing if we can get them to have a search around. Because even if they can spread out and cover more ground than us and find him, we can ask them to take care of him until we can get there.
Hmm.
And once we get there, we can ask what changes have happened since before. It will give us good information to go forward with.
Well, I don't think there's anything more to be gained by pondering at this point. Everything's just hypothetical
Yes.
until we go somewhere and get answers.
So are we happy to do that? Stay here for the evening, and then make our waves in the morning?
Yeah. I think I might have access to the spell as well, Vane, so if something goes wrong, I can try.
Oh. Oh, really?
I haven't used it yet, so I don't know
Have you...
if it'll
Can you use
work.
it now?
I don't have it prepared today.
Oh, okay. No, that's no problem. I was just wondering if you could use, because then we could send the message to Gary now. But that would be useful. As long as it doesn't put you out with any other spells that you think you might need for the day. I think I can do it.
If we get into a fight with a hag, I would much rather have my spells, but...
Well, yes. I think we'll try and avoid that.
I was hoping.
Very well. Well, I have some pondering to do, so I'm probably just going to sit here and wallow for a few hours.
I'm going to wait inside. See what happens.
Hmm.
Very well.
How about you two? Would you like to join, or are you going to take an early night?
I think now's a good moment for some meditation.
I think I'm going to lie in my bed and stare at the ceiling and see if the thoughts will stop racing long enough for me to get an early night.
That too.
Mood.
Kato,
Yes.
we should endeavor to use every advantage we have should things come to blows. And I'll take out one of the potions of growth and hand it to him.
Okay.
Oh, I see. I will put that to use, hopefully.
It's kind of an if in case of emergency, become twice as big sort of
Right.
potion. Not to be used for leisure.
I understand.
It's a pity you didn't have it back in Dublin.
It would have been a sight to see, because then I imagine I would have got to see Roshana wrestle a giant to the ground.
That would have been pretty badass. I bet that fucking giant lover would have been beside himself.
Oh, yeah.
Probably for the best that we didn't have it.
Yeah. Fucking, what's his name? Storkland. No, Heaven Shaper? No, Storkland. Storkland.
Not worth dwelling on.
No, definitely not. Vane will open the door for Blink Dog if he wants to go in. And then if he goes in, Vane will follow him in. I hold the door open in case anyone else wants to come in.
Shana will as well. Thank you.
I'm polite.
Chivalry isn't dead.
I close the door on Brooks.
And then I hold it open and do a little bow for Kato.
God.
Milady.
Oh
Shall
my
we
god.
meditate?
How well the kids are calling it these days.
Oh my god. Guess I'm bunking with Rook.
Well, they both have potions of growth, so this could be interesting.
Oh dear God.
I said not for leisure. Nobody listens to me.
Yeah, but you didn't say not for pleasure.
What's the difference?
I don't know. The P and some other letters.
Spelling.
But Kato knows all about the PP.
All right. Let's show her we're just back. We don't need to. We don't need to go back to kicking the old jokes.
Yes, we do.
Sorry, it's not revealing. Come on.
Feel, don't feel.
Oh, right here. So, unless there's anything that you guys want to do, Rashawn and Vane, you spend your evenings either looking around at the patrons who do end up quarreling quite a bit, though between the large woman standing up and Vane strumming his lyre every now and then, you manage to either intimidate people into sitting down again or annoy them with your out of tune lyre playing, that they come together as one to tell you to shut up and cease their quarreling for a little bit. Whereas, Kato, you head upstairs as well to enjoy some meditation, which is quite difficult to do, but
As you're outside.
well, you've trained for this
Oh.
moment, given that, Rook does allegedly snore. Allegedly. Is there anything else that you guys would like to do?
Annoying patrons.
Hello.
I cannot think of anything at the moment. You good?
Ye-
You're gonna spill wine all over your laptop again, did you?
No.
Sounds like you did.
I didn't.
Was it close to the laptop?
No. It went to my mouth. There's a difference.
Ah.
Yeah. No, sorry, I had to move my mic. It's not catching up everything that I'm saying.
Ah,
And it was in front of a glass of wine.
I think you know me by now. I don't have glasses of wine. I have mugs.
See,
And
Because,
wine.
like, the
Mugs.
center of gravity is lower
That's-
to the table.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
less,
sensible, really, for you.
I'm less likely to like bat it over, which is usually how things end up.
and
Nice.
there's a straw tip to the side of the mic.
It's
Dude, that is genius. Holy shit.
Not for us, it wouldn't be.
No. But
What they need to
also,
make, sorry, is like one of those hats where you can put like
A beer
two
hat.
cans on either
Mm.
side, but also have
Yeah.
like a headset built into it as well. I'm sure there's some way of doing it.
Oh,
You know
I
you
see.
can get-
I see. Instead of cat ears, you need like mug holders.
Yes.
but you know you can get a wine jacket, right?
Don't tempt me.
Just fill a whole jacket with wine. It just can't. You still need a sippy cup, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. So just hanging out for the evening.
Trying to think about the guild book. I can't remember if we posited anything last time.
Would have been in there, wouldn't it?
The last thing you sent. Where is it?
Yeah, I'm trying to
Correspondence.
find it in the.
It's underneath Journal Correspondence Guild proper. The last one that was sent out was Note to Guild, which reads, does the announcement mean that those outside of Clan Cymru are not to approach or enter? And the answer was, our apologies, we are uncertain of the status of entry into the city. If you have a Sanctum Stone, we ask that you use it now.
Right.
That was the last message that was sent.
Yeah. And then, I think before that it was Gilmore, and then they. Because I asked about getting a new Sanctum Stone.
Yep.
Hmm. Very well.
You can. I mean, you can just chat with them like pen pals. You do you, boo.
See, I have this problem that when someone's talking, I'll have like 15 different questions waiting to ask, and then when they finally get around to saying, "All right, does anyone have any questions?" I immediately forget all of them.
I know this feeling.
So I can't think of anything worthwhile to like ask at the moment. So don't worry. I'm sure when Rye's giving some big exposition, I'll remember and
Write them down
So,
when they come up.
wait
Do a
awkwardly.
SpongeBob. Write that down! Write that down!
The best way. Just
But,
scribble shit in your notepad like, what is the alcohol content of Graham Gruel?
But yeah, I no questions jumping out at me at the moment.
Alrighty. So, Rook, you're getting an early night. Kato, you do some meditation. Come the evening as people begin to filter out. You do see that most of the villagers would, head back to their respective homes and whatnot. You do see that the two groups that were travelers here, they stick around for the time being, looking to head up to their rooms themselves at some point.
Makes sense. Can I keep a lip read out? I don't know, an eye out for lips. Can I don't. I want to keep an eye on them, mainly their lips.
On who? There's two separate groups at other ends of the bar.
The one I'm closest to,
Okay.
because the other one's around the corner, and I feel like I may be skilled, but I'm not that good.
Okay, just give me a perception check, please.
Also, let me ask which one's which. Are these the ones that bought the ale?
Sorry. These are the ones that brought the ale from Gratzem.
Okie dokie, and the other ones are the adventurers.
Are
Lovely.
the merchants from Donnersag.
That's what I meant. Not adventurers. You want a perception check? No, you don't. Yes, you do.
Yes, please.
Sorry. Doing the loading. There we go. Perception. Did I do good? Mild.
As you're keeping a keen eye on them between sips of cider, you see amongst them there are 3 individuals, all human. 2 men and a woman. They all seem to be dressed in rather simple clothing, but around their shoulders they all seem to be wearing these almost like brown capes with a hood. Maybe just for the rainy weather that hasn't really been around recently, but good to be prepared.
Yeah. Especially with the storm.
Yeah. You do see they are chatting amongst themselves. They're talking about maybe heading to Milan next.
Okay, well, I'll just through the course of it's it was probably like 3 o'clock when we started, so I'll probably head up to bed at like 9-10.
Okay.
So just basically keeping an eye on people's mouths throughout the course of that evening, and then head up to bed, I think.
Mm-hmm. As the people are leaving, the tavern stall, Roshanna will also retire to the bedroom.
Okie
You do notice as Blink Boy is like sat on his little stoop, that Tingle, the red Tressum over here, is every now and then kind of like hitches up its back, furred, standing on end. The Blink Boy, unfortunately, is just sat there, tail wagging, not really understanding what's going on.
I go and pat Blink Boy on the way up. Give him some belly scritches.
Head up to bed.
And then I walk past this group and I'll kind of give him a nod and a wave.
They return to you.
And then head up to bed.
Alrighty.
I've got dark vision, so I can see down this corridor.
Corridor's here, you numpty.
Okay. I can see down this I can see down this corridor.
So,
And yeah, I walk past. As I walk past Rook and Kato's room, I will listen just slightly to hear if there's any sounds.
is there anything that Vane would hear as he's crossing the threshold? Passing by the threshold to your room, sorry.
I mean, other than Rook snoring, probably not.
Oh, Rook doesn't snore, so.
And now it can happen. God, is Rook snoring?
Well, the way he's lying right now, he's not.
Roll a percentile die.
It's a bit difficult because as you're walking by, Vane, you enter into your own room, you open the door and you hear as you walk in.
Could be an echo. Could not. Okay.
As you
I
begin
I've
to
got
set yourself up for the evening, Vane, you toss your bag onto the ground and you watch as tumbling out of the bag you see one of the halves of the piece of stone that you seemingly just found in your bag while you were in the forest.
Yeah, it's a really stale donut. Can I pull the two bits of stone out and sit on my bed cross-legged? And I'll cast Identify.
Okay, throw her up there.
It's not like my soul or something, is it?
It isn't.
My soul is a broken donut.
Okay. So as you're casting your arcane eye over it, well, not a natural arcane eye, but you ought to be. So you're casting your knowing gaze over the broken donut. It is very much broken, as is the magic that once was imbued into this item. It pulses very lightly beneath your hands, giving off this pinkish kind of energy. You've seen something like this before.
I have.
Oh no.
Where have I seen it before?
You tell me?
Pinkish energy.
Yep.
So is that like evocation?
There's no specific class to this magic.
Ooh.
However, this item was broken. It was powerful enough to wipe away enough of the instructions or inscriptions, so to speak, that a specific class is no longer apparent from it. It's more just the energy that you feel, the remnant that you feel left behind.
Okay.
But you would also know that destroying a magic item, that takes a lot.
Takes some doing. Takes some doing. Is it the same? So is it similar to what was there? Was it similar to the sort of staff where it was like oldie, strong magic that I can't I don't know.
Give me an Arcana check.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I will ponder on it throughout the time it takes me to get from asleep to awake. And then, I'll probably be falling asleep with it on me.
Okay. In which case then, each of you have bedded down for the night. And you'll come to next morning.
Woo!
Longest is had.
Does Rook get up super early? Because Vane went to bed substantially after him, so I assume I get
I
up later.
think if the plan is shifted to us going back into the forest to find the child, and we will likely be in this town again, Rook will not do his rejuvenation today, because if they run into the hag today, he doesn't want to be down a 3rd level spell slot.
Yeah! That should be bad.
Yeah, it would be bad. Let me roll my dice to see if I'm feeling good or bad.
You feeling lucky, punk?
Bad. But not for me.
No, call an ambulance. Really trying to
Question.
think.
Has Rook seen this rock that Vane is fiddling with?
I wouldn't say until now. Unless he brings it up to him.
If you... He's not bought it out or anything. This is the second time he's really looked at it. Well, it's the first time he's actually looked at it. But if you were to come into the room, it would be in pieces on his chest as he was asleep. But that's depending on whether you came into the room or not.
Well, I imagine because I did go to bed earlier, I would have woken up early anyway, and put in an order for breakfast.
I think, considering when you two went to sleep and when me and Rashana went to sleep, I'll probably be up a couple of hours after you, unless I get woken up.
I knock on the door. Aye. Kitchen's open. Breakfast soon. Yeah, never too early for food.
Okay. I'm up.
Yeah? You actually up, or?
Yeah, I'm getting dressed. This armor takes a lot to put on.
What about Vane? Is he up?
Vane!
Push open the door.
Vane has taken the pillow out from underneath his head and put it over his head. And he's laid on top of the, he didn't get under the blanket or anything, so he's laid on top of the blanket, basically fully clothed, with the pillow over his head.
DM, when I see the broken remains of this donut, do they bear a striking resemblance to the magic item we retrieved for the elephant fae guy?
It does indeed.
Fuck. Vane?
Mm.
Where did you get that?
Good point.
I'll point to the pieces.
Oh, yes. I found it in my bag. I tried looking at it last night to see what it was, but I don't know. It's broken. And the
When-
magic is kind of confusing.
When did
Of
you?
course it is. It belonged to the Fae.
Hmm?
That's the item that the hag stole from him, and we returned.
Oh, why do I have it?
Was-
When did you find this?
I think
I
the
don't-
first time he saw it was coming through the forest, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, just as we came through the forest, I noticed it in my bag.
Kato,
I hadn't noticed it since. Sorry, before that. So I assume that's
Yes.
when it happened. But
come with me.
Okay.
I'll lead Kato into the room with the group.
Roshana's getting dressed, guys.
She's putting her armor on. That's not getting dressed.
That's donning. Thank you very much.
If she was getting dressed, she would be standing in the hallway.
What?
Kato, for some reason, Vane has the shattered remains of the object we returned to the Fae from the hag. What was presumably a powerful magic item for their use, shattered in his belongings.
The millstone.
Ooh.
The millstone.
How and why?
I had grindstone in my head, but I didn't say it because it didn't feel right. But yes, millstone.
I think it's got the same kind of mode of action.
This isn't good. This is bad.
So somehow the millstone's been destroyed and it ended up on Vane's person.
Yes, but if it's been destroyed, it means that something happened to the Fae as well. And if
What-
Vane has
Isn't the Fae like a whole realm? How could something happen to it?
not the Fae wild. I mean the Fae off this forest, the ones who live here, the ones we interacted with
Oh,
before.
I see.
Gary and his
Motley
master,
Crew.
the long name.
I see. I dread to think that this is an unforeseen consequence of you know what.
So, sorry, this is what came from under the tree, or
No.
Remember
the-
when the Fae sent us out first to see the hag? They asked us to retrieve the
oh yes, the
Mill-
elephant
the
man's
millstone.
stone.
Fatima
Yes,
stone.
and we gave
This
it
is
back
that?
to him, but now it's destroyed and somehow on your person.
Yes, and there's only two parties that would have given it to us. Either the Fae to illuminate us on what has happened, or the hag to gloat, I guess.
Frankly, I'm not sure which is more disturbing.
Well, if it was the Fae, I would have hoped that they would have spoken to us, but perhaps they're not able to be so direct.
I send a message to Gary.
Okay.
I was asking the group.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I mean, that takes a lot of energy, doesn't it?
It was always going to be the plan for the day.
Yes, I
If they were able to give it to us, then they should have been able to speak to us. But we haven't seen any sign of them. And if we go into the forest now, they'll be likely just as obscured, unless we're of the belief we can find our way back to that grotto But in all
I
likelihood,
was
the hag,
unconscious for the most part in my time getting there.
I might be able to do it. It was a bit of traveling into the forest before we were led that direction, but if the hag was going to assault anywhere, wouldn't it be there?
Does make sense.
I can prepare that spell too, Fane, so I don't
Well, it
like
did.
it, but
It comes down to I have one spell that I would use other than that at that power level. If you have others that would be more beneficial, for example, in a fight, then I'm happy to use mine.
yes, I
Uh,
think that would be.
Just a quick bookkeeping thing, because I'm pretty sure. Did we find a
Fuck.
pearl of power, and does Roshana have it?
She does. Thank you for reminding me.
Yes, that's basically a free sending.
Yeah.
A one-off, or is it?
Well, it's once a day. You can use it to regain a spell slot up to level 3. So
Oh, sick.
Just check the magic items. Make sure it's here. Yes, it is. I can send the message now, Fane, if you'd like, or
Yes, if you can.
if you want to.
No, I'm fine if you go to too fast.
Okay. Haven't done this before.
25 words
or less.
or less. Try and
What-
cut out all the shit that you don't need.
What is the main point
Wait.
we want to get across?
We need to know if Gary and his group are alive, and if we can't get an update on the forest in that amount of words, so we need to know if we're able to meet up.
Also
somewhere.
mention potentially the millstone, as they were
Uh,
the last people to have it, as far as we're aware.
Yeah, just something like Gary found Millstone destroyed. What's happened? Can we meet? We are in here.
Faernfurth.
Faernfurth, yes.
Okay. See, Roshana grasps at the holy symbol of Salune around her neck and just holds it tightly. Closes her eyes, and the symbol begins to glow, and you see little bits of her hair begin to flutter about a little bit as she speaks out. Gary, you found the millstone destroyed. Can we meet? We're in Faernfurth. What's happened?
Hey, are you friends with that little hexblot fella? Fuck you, fuck him, fuck the hobgoblin, fuck the old man, fuck the...
You see,
Gary
Roshana just
then.
opens her eyes, just looking stunned.
Everything alright?
Vane, did that man yesterday say that you were a hex blood?
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, the sprite seemed to know that you were a hexblood as well, and he was angry at you, angry at me, and angry at all of us.
We haven't done anything.
Oh. Well, he's alive anyway.
Well, yes.
didn't really answer any of our questions. So I
Too bad we
think
can't
despite
track him
that,
down.
are any of us in good conscience going to be able to walk away from this?
No.
I'll look around the group.
Not like we had much of a choice.
I mean, unless we can find and face the hag, but I don't see anything going differently than last time. But also the kids are still out there.
Hmm.
If we were stronger, maybe.
Maybe.
If it's
don't-
because you're a Hexblood vein, that might suggest that it was Granny.
Yes, I can't think of anyone else who it would have been. Nor anyone with the power to destroy a magical item. That takes some doing.
I don't know why the Fae would want to do it themselves.
No, not after it was the one thing they wanted us to get back.
I mean, unless Granny had messed with it in some way, corrupted it. I mean,
Don't you?
but we would have no way of knowing that.
We don't know what. We don't know what that stone we gave her would permit her to do.
Either way, she would have gotten it anyway. Sent her hounds to dig it up. Or the boy.
And that could have caused a lot more harm than how
Would
secretly you guys seemed to do it.
Yeah, I imagine if they wanted to, the hounds could have descended on the village.
Hmm.
Oh, one thing after another. Sky is getting darker, blocking off sight to the sky. Hag is growing bold. Ruins popping up.
The booze downstairs.
The booze downstairs.
And that's normally solving things.
It's usually putting things off.
Same difference. Shall we endeavor to move into the forest?
What are we looking to accomplish here? We want the boy. Preferably both of them. Though the older one, if our assumptions are right, is probably happily following Granny.
I mean, I would like information about, well, obviously they know I'm a Hexblood. I would like to see what they know about it, because I don't know anything. I'd also like to understand what's happened with this millstone and how it came into my possession.
I don't think the Fae will be much help. Going off that
No.
message.
If their master isn't around, if something did happen, Gary might be the one taking charge. And he was never fond of us. If he
No,
sees
he
this as
was
a result
racist.
of our actions, then that opinion's going to have worsened.
What to do? And kind of connects the two pieces of the millstone together. Is it a perfect? So you say it's it's like split in half, basically, right?
Yeah, it's
Um,
crumbling a little bit. It's not perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not.
There's little
Like
bits of
a
sediment
clear-
rubbing off onto your thumbs and onto your shirt.
Hmm. I'm just trying to. So with identify, would it have told me? So does identify do detect magic, but just at a higher kind of grade, or would it? So say, for example, if that donut had been destroyed with magic, would identify have told me that, or would it just try and tell me about the item?
Just the item.
Okay.
Unless there's like a lasting effect on it. Like a lasting magical effect, not it's broken. It's like if something was
Yeah, yeah,
imbued on the item, you'd be able to identify it, but
Yeah.
this is something
I'm
that
just trying
happened.
to think.
This happened to the item, not on the item, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. um. Can I stow the donut back? Actually, hang on. I have some sax. Not saxophones, but sax.
Okay.
Can I wrap the one half of the donut in one sack and one half in the other to keep them like well protected and kind of separate, I guess, but
Yeah.
mostly protected. And then I'll pop them back in my bag securely so that they take as little damage as possible. And then I'll kind of look up at the group and say, right, well, we're wasting the day, so what should we do?
Well, I hate to say it, but all directions point to the forest.
Not necessarily.
Oh,
As much as I hate to say it, Roshana's right. We're not all that much stronger now than we were when we faced the hag. And if we put ourselves into a position with an uncooperative Fae and get caught by the hag again, we'll either need to bargain for something worse this time, or we will just meet a gruesome end.
then what do
So
you
our other
suggest?
option is to come back when we're ready. When we can finally finish this and put it to bed.
Right, but our path forward lies in the forest. Are you suggesting we scale the mountains?
Why would we need to?
We are in Faernfurth. We have already passed through the forest. If we're heading back to Clan Curry, we have no more forest to go through.
Milan's below the forest. Fairfurth's above the forest.
Oh, my geography skills are showing.
Yeah,
Brooks not bad.
our travel through the forest is what resulted in Vane getting the millstone.
Yeah, as far as we're aware, that's where it was deposited into my backpack.
I don't know why I was thinking. Ugh.
You're just thinking about the bees, aren't you? They're so cute.
Believe me, I don't want to leave that child to whatever dangers or acts of ill that hag has in favor. If by some miracle he's not in her grasp and is just lost in the forest, then I feel like Vane would have picked up on something like that. A child can't stay as calm as he did in the initial messages if he's been lost for alone all these days.
I mean, if they disappeared 10 days after we left, that was weeks ago.
Yeah.
He's assuming that his father is deceased. He's been out there on his own for a minimum of a few days. And as a child, I assume he, isn't trained for survival. So I assume someone is taking care of him. The only other thing would be if we're not planning to go straight into the forest, I could always send a message to Granny.
I would like to avoid that, but
I would too, but
The problem is, if the child is in the forest and Granny doesn't have him, you would be telling Granny about the child. I'm willing to hold out hope that his brother will look after him.
You
we
think
could.
they found each other?
Well, one
I
of them's
mean,
with Granny.
It was him they were
Sorry.
chasing when they got lost. Given
Right, but who can know if they actually saw Tolvern? But all we know, it could have just been a mirage, some sort of figment that wasn't there.
we could ask.
I can always send
What
him a message to
What I'm
Tolbert.
trying to say is, what do we realistically think we can accomplish? I want to free the child from the forest. I want them to be safe. But if they're in the hands of the hag, there's nothing we can do unless we muster every ounce of luck and strategy we have, and we take care of our beasts before she notices, and we catch her unawares. But her magic is
see.
beyond us, and I'm not even sure if killing her here will put a stop to her.
No, I do agree her magic is well beyond us. As far as we're aware, the act of resurrection is basically impossible in this part of the world currently. And she did it without really blinking. The
I
only
don't
thing I
know.
can think is that I could contact her and ask indirect questions to not give away that the child's there, or I could contact Torbin. Torbin? Torbjorn.
Would you be able to?
Torbjorn.
Torbjorn.
Ready to
Um,
fight! Would you be able to contact him? I mean, you've never met the child.
I don't know. It would be an attempt, but there's nothing certain about that.
If we resign ourselves to continue towards the city, then it's worth spending those resources to gather as much information as possible. If people still want to travel into the forest to try to do something, then we should hold on to what resources we have.
Most definitely. I mean, I want to travel into the forest. I want to do something, but I do agree that I'm not sure, dependent on the circumstances, what we can do. The forest is vast. It's evidently changing.
Mm,
Finding one small child in a forest that size is finding a needle in a haystack, and
We
that's assuming that he's not either with the Fae, who apparently now don't like us, or with Granny, who could kill us in a heartbeat.
both game. The one that sent the or received the message from was the Elephant Man,
No.
or
No,
was it
it was
the
It was
Uh,
the
it
sprite.
was the
Sprite?
Gary.
He's the one that led us
What
to
we-
the unicorn.
Yeah.
What we need is an alternate angle.
Well,
We
have
don't know that the entire Fae hates our guts.
Well, yes, but
We just know that Gary hates our guts.
Yes, but Gary was the only one that spoke to us, except the elephant.
Yes, and we don't know how he feels about it.
Not the elephant man, but we can't contact
Now,
him.
I mean, Vane could try to send a message to them.
I mean, I'm not saying that they'd be any happier. I'm just saying that we don't know if they're as monolithic as we think they are. From what I'm understanding, Rook, and feel free to correct me, is that the Fae are devious and tricksy. Somehow I don't think everyone is on the same page all the time.
And a racist.
Think
Sat right here.
There's a
think
possibility that there is a group or a conclave within the Fae in the forest that would be happy to
'Cause if
speak
you-
to us.
if you think about the Giants, we thought they were all on the same page until we ran into Ronkel.
As far as I understand it, the Fae must, much like other planes, tend to have a hierarchical system based on power, but don't necessarily have allegiances to anything stronger than them. So there's certainly many rogue agents that act on their own. But when we were there, they seemed to act much like a community centered around this one individual. Without them there, perhaps it's fractured.
Just because it's annoying me. Can I do a history check to remember the name of the elephant?
Sure.
Because I
At
swear to
disadvantage,
God,
please.
yeah. Sorry. Because 17.
Ooh, very nice.
Or
Master
17.
Kilmooly.
Jubilee.
Kilmooly.
Kilmule. That's it. Swear to
Kimuli.
God, I had it. Kilmule. Because I was thinking it was, what was it, Bumole? But that was the other one that you named funnily, which is Bumhole. Bumule. Is that Kilmule? Okay, right. Sorry. That's Kilmule.
All right, Effie.
Okay. Oh, that was close. LIS. Okay. Sorry about that. I swear I had it written down somewhere, but it must be hidden amongst other session notes about Blink Dog. Well, we Gary didn't like us when we were helping them. Kilmuli was more receptive. The water spirit, but the thing is none of them spoke to us except Gary. And Kilmuli through Gary.
Yes,
if we were to want to find a subgroup of Fae that might potentially not be exactly in line with the other ones that might talk to us, it's a lot of what ifs for us to head back into the forest and hope.
my opinion would be, if we were going to head back into the forest and we were understanding that it could clash with another clash with the hag, then we would need to have the Fae on our side, ignoring the fact that there was a boundary they couldn't pass through. It leaves us very high and dry if at the very least we don't have information.
Yes, I agree.
I will also say this also depends on if she is still in the forest.
She was meant to
Agreed.
leave.
She said that was like she wanted to leave. She didn't want to be there. So if she got what she wanted, I don't think she would have stuck around, just per se.
I do have another spell. Again, I've never used it, but it'll take a bit out of me.
What would it gain?
It would allow. I could do it on Vane. It's probably best coming from him. It'll allow Vane to understand any language that is spoken to him and anything that is touch the ability of hears. So if you wanted to speak with Kilmuli, this spell would allow you to understand him and be able to speak to him, and you'd both understand each other. I don't know.
I mean, it would bypass Gary, who evidently thinks we're all fucks.
Knowing whether Kilmuli is alive or not is very valuable.
Do we think it's worth it? How much will it take out of you?
I already have used the Pearl of Power, and she shows you the little black pearl that she has in her hand. So I'd be down one big spell, but
I don't know vaguely what type of spell slots is the same for everyone.
roughly. So it's one of my stronger spells.
Okay.
And then if you could cast Sending, I think we'd only be down one each then.
I think that is sensible. And as Brooke says, finding out if Kimuli is alive is incredibly beneficial information.
Will we try?
I look to the group, like Kato and Brooke, and so sort of give a like questionable look of like, are we happy to do this?
If we're not sure whether to go into the forest or not, and we commit to doing it, we could always wait another day.
True.
What we need now is information.
Very well. I'll turn to Roshana.
Okay.
At your own pace.
Rishana is going to cast Tongues.
Blah, 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 blah.
So,
For description purposes only.
for the next hour, Vane, you understand any spoken language you hear, And also when you speak, any creature that knows at least one language and can hear you understands what you say.
Woohoo. I will cast Sandy to kill Muley.
Okay.
Let me see. This one's because this one's really important. Okay. I will say. Kill Muley. Vane here. Actually, Vane speaking. Are you well? We have found the millstone broken in my pack. Not sure. Unsure how it got there. Can we meet? Any news? That's 25. So, Kilmurley, Vane speaking. Are you well? We have found the millstone. I could take out like 10 words, but yeah. We found the millstone broken in my pack. Unsure how it got there. Can we meet? Any news?
Okay. You focus on the wrinkled face, long-nosed individual of Kilmody, the strange little creature with vibrant pink hair. And it's an odd sensation of hearing a chorus of farting sounds.
No, I need you to do them, please.
And being able to discern what each of the squeaks mean. The Iron Tooth had cursed my millstone. I couldn't sustain the grove on this plane. I hold no ill will towards you. I pity you.
I pity me too. So, right, can you repeat that just quick?
Okay, so the Iron
Tooth
had
yeah.
cursed my millstone. I couldn't sustain the grove on this plane. I hold no ill will towards you. I pity you.
Iron Tooth.
Iron Tooth is one of the names for Crowley Grefford.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's got them big teeth, which she uses. Hold no ill will. Does he say, I hold no ill will to you, or I hold no ill will?
I hold no ill will towards you. I pity you.
Okay. Okay. I will tell the group what she said. What he said. What Kilmuli said.
So
The Iron Tooth
was
was cursed, yes. Look, you know more about the Fae than most of us. When he says he couldn't sustain the grove on this plane, I assume that means he's had to move it to the Fae?
I don't know too much about the overlapping of planes. it was very clear that there was an influence on this forest from the Feywild. I presume that means that that influence was being maintained by Kilmuli. And without his millstone, he can't. We weren't interrupted on our way through the forest.
And there was no singing.
And there was
There
no
was
singing.
no. Did anyone feel anything? In the first time we went through there, it was there was a tangible feeling of innate magic. Did anyone feel or sense anything like that on the way through? It felt relatively mundane to me, I think.
We
Not that I
traveled
noticed.
rather quickly.
I think most of us were just glad not to be impeded
Yeah.
or
Ugh.
stolen from.
That's right. Did any of our rations get taken?
I check.
God?
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
Well, then
No,
why did you ask the question?
I cannot wait for you to DM someday.
I know. That's why I'm putting it off. 'Cause
It's right around the corner.
You'll treat me as badly as I treat you.
As
It's all
Jesus
come from
intended.
It all comes from a place of care and adoration.
If anything, that means the Fae might have retreated back to the Feywild. In which case, we would be truly alone.
Which would be in line with Kilmuli saying that he couldn't sustain the grove on this plane.
So, what do people want to do? Shall we go throw ourselves at the hag and see if we can make a dent?
Well, we've
I'm gonna
gotten
say
slightly
no.
stronger, but is it enough to make the difference? Well, that's
I
It's hard to call.
personally would like to return to Clan Capri and get some new armor.
I was gonna say,
She
we
hits
have-
hard.
we have a mountain of gold waiting for us back at the guild. We could get information, restock, potions,
yeah,
magic items, whatever we need.
not to be the I guess bearer of bad news or jinx anything, but we're still not even sure if we can make entry.
Well, we've got people working on it on the inside.
One way or
Yes.
another, we'll
Yeah.
find a way into the city.
Yes.
So, depart then.
Oh, before we do depart, Rook, do you still have the Fey rations? I check in my bag if the two that I got from him are still in there.
Yep, it's still there.
Also, it's all still there. Okay, cool. Including Rook ones. How many does Rook have left? Because we haven't eaten that many, have we?
17.
Okay. I mean, theoretically, we could.
That's a lot of croissants.
That's a lot of croissants.
Couple of buffet rolls.
Ooh,
You know the
yeah.
business.
Eclairs.
Curly or two.
Ooh. Chocolate stuff,
the-
not
Stop, 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 stop.
No. We could theoretically try the rations and see if we either go invisible or fly. And that could also get us into the city.
Oh, you mean when we get to the gate?
Yes.
Just start popping eclairs like no one's business.
Yes. Channeling rations like a fucking warrior. No. I can fly and I'm invisible and I've exploded.
Well, I don't know much about the perimeter of the city, but I could probably swim in.
I mean, I think there's ways in. It's just whether we get in trouble or not. The
Hmm.
prisons leave a lot to be desired, I will say.
Well, there's always the sewers underneath.
Can we please avoid that? I'd rather wait.
We also, I mean, surely the Smiling Blades have ways in and out.
True.
I
I
think
could just contact Luxon or
I vote Baz.
Baz. Yes. I was trying to think of is it Doug's name? Is it Doug?
Well,
The
you know,
guy that was like,
we've also
Yeah.
seen the prince. That means you can send him a message.
well,
Maybe he'll let us in.
fair point. Would ideally not go through him directly, though.
I think we're battling a problem we don't know if it exists yet.
Exactly. Let's focus on now. Right. So what are we doing? Going home. Back to the city.
I think that's the best course of action.
Okay. Is there anything people want to do here before we leave?
Leave.
Are you sure there's nothing you want to do here before we leave?
Do we want to spend 8 hours?
Shit, I thought I didn't realize it takes the entire 8 hours. I thought it was like.
I can do it very quickly, in which case I just make the whole town very inconvenient. Or I can spend 8 hours to actually revitalize the land.
Okay. I mean, I'm happy to leave straight away. Vane doesn't actually know that you wanted to do that, so it was more of it's just meek.
Yeah, well, the if I was going to do that, the plan was to do that before.
Yeah,
everyone
early.
got up.
Yeah. That makes sense. I didn't realize that the difference between it being like instant.
Yeah, it's if, you know, in a world where like lots of farmland is very important, it's a bizarrely powerful spell for the economy.
Obviously.
You can enrich land
Certainly.
and all plants up to a half-mile radius centered on a point for 1 year. Plants
Damn, that's
yield twice the normal amount of food when harvested.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
become like a grain baron.
Yeah. I'll bear that in mind for later.
Sure.
Well, I think I'm ready to go. Be nice to get back to the city.
I agree.
If everyone's happy to do that.
As bizarre as it is to say, that was one of the less complicated parts of our time together.
Indeed.
And that's saying something.
Yes, it is. Less deaths in the city too.
Well, you did get arrested twice. I wouldn't say that.
I take it being arrested over death.
Yeah.
You were
Well,
also kidnapped.
Yes, it's true.
Plus,
Actually.
half the arrests happened before we met him, so I wouldn't really chalk that up to being a group thing.
Oh,
Just
it's not a group thing. I think it's more of a city thing.
Oh, I thought it was a vain thing.
That too.
Little column A, little column B. Very well.
Shall we get a move on?
From
Yes.
downstairs, you hear, your breakfast has gone cold. Do you want me to make another batch?
Sure, and we'll have that after we've eaten the cold one.
Okay.
And Blink Dog
Second
will
breakfast.
get some, I'm sure. Sadly, of course.
Hey, we're gonna head out pretty soon.
Okay.
Don't let people get too far into the forest where they can help it.
I'm not sure if I can dissuade people from doing that, but
Can you tell them there's a hag in there?
is there a hag in there?
Yes.
Maybe.
Like, from the books?
Well, she has songs. She's in a song. I don't know if she's in a book. I'll check when I get back to the city. But yeah, no, she's from songs. This one, Iron Tooth. Was that the name in the book?
No, I was
Granny
thinking
Gretford.
more of nursery rhymes that we used to scare children into going to bed early and eating their carrots.
Does it work?
Most of the time, yes.
Okay, can you add nursery rhymes to go to bed early, eat their carrots, and not go into the forest?
For you,
It's
I'll
just-
see what I can do.
Much appreciated.
Just sings nursery rhymes to everyone that comes into the bar.
Oh, and like anyone that's heading south, just let them to be careful.
Well, the forest has already claimed a few already, so
Yeah.
that's a given.
We'll go do some prep, and then we'll come back and kill her. But until we're good to go,
Already?
I'll see you later.
Okay.
Then I go sit down and eat my food.
Okay. Jesus.
I'm giving Blink Dog some pets, and I say, "Come and get some treats." And then I'll walk over to the table.
Mhm. And you see
Um,
slinking up against the bar, like crawling on his belly. Blink Dog starts heading over towards you and then dives underneath the table beside that you're sat at.
Stealthy boy. I would like to. It's more of a game question. Did I? I'm trying to remember. It was so long ago. Did I speak with woman, lady, husband dead, and tell her husband's woman, lady dead?
No.
Or missing, should I say?
No, that we didn't broach that subject. You looked out for her, but you didn't see her in the revelry.
Okay. After I've had my brekkie first,
Mhm.
can I speak to the bartender?
Sure, he's right there.
Yeah, but I just meant if like people wanted to chat at breakfast, I'll do it after breakfast. But if people don't want to chat at breakfast and they just want to shovel bacon into their mouths, then I'll shovel bacon into my mouth and then do it.
Shovels bacon.
Shovel's bacon.
Shovel. Got a shovel. Cool. I'll shovel and accidentally drop a couple of rashers of bacon and an egg on the floor. Oh, shucks.
Yeah, you do hear a distinctive crunch underneath as Blink Boy snuffles over and hoovers up. The dredges of your breakfast have been dropped onto the floor, begins biting down on the crunchy pieces of bacon.
And if there's a piece of toast, I'll also drop that under the table. Oh, dear. Lovely. And then I'll hop up and I will walk over to the bar.
Mhm.
Sorry, you wouldn't happen to know the lady that I went and looked for her husband? You wouldn't happen to know where she lives at all?
Darlene.
Darlene, that's one.
I mean, she's resident of the village. I do think she's meant to be leaving soon.
Oh, where's she planning on heading?
I'm not sure. I believe Jean, the fella at the Cuckoo's Pint, he did inform me that you had found a camp of some kind in the forest.
Yes.
I did pass that on to Darlene.
Ah, I see. Thank you. I wasn't sure if I should speak with her as, just to give potential condolences and just give her some more information about what we found or didn't find.
I appreciate that, but given how she was the last time I spoke to her, it might be best the less she knew.
Very well.
In some cases, ignorance is bliss.
Most definitely. I just wanted to make sure. Yes.
We did actually go looking for them once we had received word. The fellow from the apothecary even joined us, but to no avail.
Oh. Perfect. Well, I'm sorry I couldn't do more.
No, you've done enough. Really. Truly. So I think everyone was of the opinion that the Carpenter group were just of course, but it seems we were wrong, and it's been a very long time since someone has perished in the forest or gone missing for a few days, but never as bad as this. And it wasn't your fault. If anything, the fact that she knows is some comfort, I think.
Yes, I suppose it takes some of the sort of uncertainty out of it. But still. It's upsetting.
Well, certainly.
Well, give her my best if you do speak to her before she leaves.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
And I'll nod and head back to the table. A little bit more somber, but...
Mm-hmm.
Finish eating breakfast and then mosey, I suppose.
So, after scraping your plates and whatever remnants you mistakenly drop onto the ground for Blinkboy to snarfle up, you finish breakfast, head upstairs to gather your belongings and return down once more to the main floor of the Hair of the Blink Dog.
Just like where we have. Well, we're heading back up to the city to see if we can help in any way with this storm that's coming in. Thank you for your hospitality as always.
My
Always
pleasure.
wonderful to hopefully we'll come back soon. And you, mister, and I give him a rustle on the head. You be a good boy. And then I turn to Blink Dog. You too.
Hey,
Oh my
hey
god.
Roshana.
Sorry, I
Oh
had
my.
to. Sorry.
Yes, Rook?
What was the name of that drink?
Gratsam gruel? Like the stuff that
Gratsam.
everyone was drinking?
Yeah, got some gruel.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, just before we go, when we came up from Daglion, it seemed that, I don't know if it just hits harder than the other stuff, but the Grutsum gruel tends to make people a little bit agitated. So if you find that it becomes a little unwieldy for your establishment, maybe limit the portions or put it on hold every couple of days, just if it comes up.
Oh, I certainly hope that's not the case. I bought quite a few casks, but...
I hope so too, but just if you notice a marked rise in tensions, I don't know what it is, but people were at each other's throats down in the last town. So just something for you to keep in mind. Your own use your own intuition.
You see, he scratches at his scalp, top of his head. Well, tensions were a bit high yesterday, so what you say might have merit.
Yeah. I mean, maybe water it down if it gets too much or whatever works, but just to let you know, because if it continues to rise, then I don't want you to be wondering what's going on.
I'll keep an eye out. Thank you.
Good man. Hope to see you again.
Likewise.
Hopefully in less strange times.
Likewise. He nods. Alrighty. So back out into the dark sky above the dimly lit village, the lanterns all lit. And I think we'll take a half an hour break here, guys. Actually, back on the hour. Might be a good idea.
Sounds good.
Woo!
Owies!
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Me too, I'm gonna drop off for 2 seconds.
No
Refill my
worries.
hot water bottle, it's cold as shit. Righty. So, you've just headed outside the Hair of the Blink Dog Tavern and Inn. You said your goodbyes to Hernan and to Blink Boy. What's the plan?
Set off in the direction of
North.
Montgomery
Alright. Yeah.
via Mercantile.
You grab the 2 girls, the horses.
The horses. The horse sisters.
And you return to the road once more. Who
Oh, wow,
is
it's-
driving?
It's called the Tarnished Forest now because we've tarnished it.
I'll drive. Yeah, we did that.
That was us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Jesus. I don't think we're quite at that level yet, but I do very much look forward to the time where, you guys make devastating changes to the landscape.
We're gonna log in one day and that's gonna be called the Fucked Forest.
Me, the fighter, can't relate.
Jesus.
Post campaign is just Rook going around with like a white bandana and just casting plant growth across the continent.
Oh
to
god.
undo the damage.
Sorry,
Dude, the
sorry
ta-
again. Sorry.
just with like a mop that's not needed. But
Wait, what's the fucking like the company that sends disaster relief? That's basically you. we just send you out. Go spread some seed. Wait.
all right.
Stop. Yeah.
I am driving.
Okay. Thank you. Please give me a survival check or
Sure.
a land vehicles proficiency roll if you have it, please. Fab.
Survival.
He's a survivor.
Alrighty.
I will perception.
Please do.
Wow, I see something. It's a storm. Rumble, rumble, rumble.
So just looking for the right music. It's just appeared on me.
No, I like
Oh,
this.
handy. Oh, well. Okay.
It makes me feel safe. Less so now.
Alrighty. So, Rook, you lead Steph and Tiff forward out of Fairfirth. You pass by The large apple orchards, the scent of the flowers and the trees and the fruit itself has become a lot more pungent, showing that time has passed since your travel through here.
Question.
Yes?
What, when you say pungent,
Mhm.
is this, does this look like it's in relation to the changes that might be happening due to the lack of the, like, is it pungent good or pungent like pungent as in it's later in the year that they're coming to, or pungent as in like, ugh?
Well,
Does that make sense?
I mean, as you're trundling along, the cartwheels squelch over some rotten fruit that has fallen from the trees.
Oh
And
god, no. Rot.
You do
Rot
smell
everywhere.
like the sweet smell of decay. But you feel like it's been made more apparent by the tepid closeness in the air.
That makes
Like,
sense.
you're in the summer months now.
Okay, so that was probably the question I should have asked. Does it seem more like it was going from some like spring to summer to autumny type thing, or is it because we fucked the forest and everything's now fucked?
Well, I don't know if you'd know, to be honest, even if you did.
Okay.
So, noon passes
Cool.
just as you crest past the orchards, revealing the area that you had camped at and where you were, I should say, rather, Cato was attacked by the wolves that had
Tried to set
Descended.
fire.
descended upon you and that you had sent skittering back into the forest. You find the crossroads once more. To the left or to the right?
Are there? Sorry, when we were walking past the orchards, was there anyone working them?
No, it's too dark.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well,
Left.
is that dark because of the storm? I assume.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
I've just made the thing fatter. Hold on. Sorry.
Oh my God, Steph and Tiff, you've got so much more to pull.
Ugh.
There is actual literal junk in the trunk.
Okay.
I'm
Rook,
here.
you continue forward, and like you guys are approaching the month of Halorn, and Rook, it does cross your mind that this would roughly be the time of year where you would seek shade amongst the trees of the forest that you grew up in, to escape the blazing heat of the summer sun in Zaltari.
Yeah, it's a little overcast for that.
Yeah. And certainly, like, while the earth here cannot be scorched like it does southernly, due to the clouds above, instead you find that the balminess of the day is being replaced by a close and incredibly humid air being trapped beneath the dirty sky above. And you are all sweating beneath your armor.
Rook
Oh,
also
great.
insists that despite being overcast, the UV rays are still a problem, so everyone should stay in shade and wear their sunscreen.
A screen for the sun?
I believe
Oh,
you
I
only...
said scream at the sun. Vane, come on, listen.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I think the only sun lotion that you might have is the stuff that Vane had that turns your
Turns it
skin
yellow.
yellow.
Kato, you're fair skinned. Would you like to put some lotion on?
I'll pass, thanks.
Very well.
I will say,
Have it your way.
I will say, Kato in particular, this heat is something you have never experienced before. And the moisture hangs heavily in your lungs. It's
Humid.
yeah, in comparison to being back in Hyla, where the wind is almost taken out of you. Here, the air seems to settle in your lungs like soup.
You really had to
Exactly
put
what-
like soup.
Yeah.
It's exactly
Yeah,
what
I did.
Roshana is currently feeling.
And you do find that Steph and Tiff are also finding themselves panting and growing weary from a mixture of the heat and the need to concentrate on the dim surroundings about them.
The sun is about 300 miles closer.
Are we thinking back? It took us what, like a week and a bit to get to Faernfurth initially.
Mhm.
How bad are the horses? Like, are they really struggling?
They're not really, really struggling, but it's noticeable to you.
Okay. Well, I don't know if do we want to maybe take slightly shorter days due to the horses and the weather being as it is, give them more time to rest.
I think that would
Like
be wise.
an hour or two shorter per day. It should only push us a day or two back, maybe slightly more.
If it seems like they're particularly run down by the, well, we're getting close to the end of the day, I'll elect to call it early.
Okay.
Hopefully, as we get closer to the water, we'll have a cool breeze that might be able to
nice.
shift off some of the concern.
Lovely. Okay. Yeah, just guess we plod along forward.
Okay. Rook. Or actually, what is everyone's passive perception?
Oh boy, not great. 12.
14.
16.
Damn.
I think Roshana's is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm checking now.
I think me and Roshana's is the same.
You know, the wisdom main.
With them. Come on, load. You penis.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, Rashanda's is 17.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Wisdom plus proficiency.
Regardless, both.
So what it sounds like is everyone except me.
Well, Rashana and Vane, as you are traveling, there's an uncomfortable sense of quiet as the natural fauna and flora of Colburn, or at least the bit that like surrounds you right now, it seems to be holding a collective breath. The confused nattering that you'd heard back in the Turnish forest is now forgotten. Wildlife seems uncertain, like it's waiting for something to happen. Like they are waiting for the sky to break.
Now, when you say
Ominous.
break,
Ominous.
ooh.
Do with that what you will.
Can I cast detect magic just as we're traveling?
Sure.
See if anything, there's any twinge of anything in the air. I doubt there will be, but yeah.
Yep, throw it up.
I shall do.
So you see a number of things sprout from each of your companions and yourself. But
Wait, myself. Oh my god, I'm magic. Yeah.
your magic items that you have on you, for fuck's sake.
I had a feeling.
As you
that
travel
might be the case.
onwards, there's nothing in the surroundings that
No.
holds such magical weight.
No smell on the breeze.
Mm-mm.
Okay, cool. Full steam ahead.
And with the horses wearing down for
Um,
the night, you make good time. You do find that the horses are sweating quite a bit.
Yeah, well, I think depending on Rook's opinion, we'll probably stop a little early. It doesn't necessarily have to be like hours, but even if we save half an hour a day, it's still half an hour that they can extra rest.
This is our first rest since leaving Faernfurth, yeah?
Yep.
Yep.
Before we hunker down, Rook will just go up to the rest of the party and just say, I'm going to try something. I expect there to be no result, but I'm just curious. Just letting you guys know in case things go poorly.
Okay, before you do try
Understandable.
something, do we think feeding the horses the oats would be better, or should we give them a good berry?
I mean, whichever.
Okay.
I mean, they can graze on the.
Well, I
grass for
didn't know
now.
if you meant that this thing that you're going to try might take you out of the day, if that makes sense.
Goodberry is one of the easiest spells I know how to cast.
Well, yes, but if you're unconscious, this is what I meant.
Oh,
I don't know how bad your whatever you're going to try is going to be.
I mean, it's certainly possible.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, here, and I'll just put my hand over Vane's hand and conjure
the
10
slight panic
goodberries.
in Vane's face of like, wait, you're gonna suddenly knock yourself out? What the fuck?
I was a little bit hurt that all you cared about was making sure you got the good berries out of me. Eventually killed myself, but
I was more thinking that you weren't gonna kill yourself, but now I'm kind of worried.
Story.
I don't have a spare raccoon hat to bring you back this time, by the way.
Yeah, and I also don't have the material required to open a door to leave being dead. So
Yes. Do you need any inspiration or assistance for this thing that you want to try?
No, I'm just curious about something.
Okay.
And I will walk 100 feet away from the party.
Okay.
I will hand a good berry to Rashana and to Kato and to each of the horses. And then I will take 10 steps back and eat a good berry myself while staring at Rook in the distance.
Rook will take out a spoon and take a mouthful of the special lightning honey.
Okay.
And then he'll slap his hands together and just say to himself, all right, let's see if there's anything in you. And he's going to cast Call Lightning and try to take control of the storm above him.
Okay. Throw her up there.
Yep.
I'm so disappointed in myself.
Why?
Me too.
Just in general, or for a reason?
No, it's because I forgot to.
Passing comment.
No, because I forgot to add the +5 to my initiative.
Ooh.
What? Oh, for what, alert?
The alert, yeah.
Okay. I mean...
When did you get that?
Since the ruins.
Yeah.
Nothing's happened since then, right?
Because he's a fighter. And that's what their fighters get beats every time they do something.
Okay.
I mean, on that note, technically speaking, because I have advantage because of the Sentinel Shield, that does result in a +5 to passive wisdom perception.
Oh yeah, it does.
So
that's
it
true.
would
Yeah.
functionally be a 19 while I have the shield.
Alright, mate. Fuck yeah, now.
But that's besides the point. Yeah, I'm.
Give it to Rashana. She'd be like a 24.
No.
No, she wouldn't. She'd be a 22.
22. Yeah.
22, yeah.
Yeah. So Rook is held to the not suspicion but concern that the storm above has just been holding on to all of its chaotic energies, and he's going to see if he can punch a little hole and summon some lightning out of it.
Okay.
Can I point out that you know how like when you've got a balloon and you punch a little hole in it,
Yeah.
it doesn't tend to just release a little bit.
That's why I'm 100 feet away.
Yeah, but this storm is
Yeah.
slightly more than 100 feet.
I mean, it'll be fine.
Okay.
Listen, we just gotta empty out the bucket every little bit, okay? That gives us more time.
Okay, I'm going to take another 10 steps back.
Okay. So, Rock. You grasp a hold of your staff and hold on to the puzzle box, which is now bereft of its contents, but the star map remains. And you concentrate on drawing down the negative energy from above. Lightning draws down in front of you. Bluish sort of energy that strikes the ground just in front of you. As you look up to where it was, you've drawn down this energy from above. No difference to the clouds.
Oof.
No hole, no additional clouds above. It almost seemed just to just pierce through for a moment, and then the clouds continued rolling on.
So, I suppose what I'd like to know is, does it look like I have in fact, like grabbed control of, well, not like control, but am I pulling from this storm, or have I, as per the spell, summoned my own little
You have
storm?
summoned your own.
Okay. That's fine. I'll it's as soon as I realize that it's my own and it's not interacting with the sky up there, I will dismiss the spell and head back over to the group.
Okay.
Oh,
I
it was worth a
handle
try.
it good, Barry.
Thank you. Whatever that storm is, it's not. I mean, we knew it wasn't natural, but I can't pull anything from it.
What was that lightning then?
That was my own.
Okay. Yes, you created your. Makes sense.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
spell I used either uses the natural environment or it will conjure what it needs to summon
Oh,
the
I see.
lightning. When one takes control of an existing storm, the range is greatly increased, as is the potency of the lightning you can summon. But there was nothing up there for me to grab onto.
It's kind of strange, but I guess we haven't seen any. It's been. I mean, the storm seems less of a storm and more of
A cloud.
a cover of some kind.
Yeah, that was my concern.
What if there's no way of getting above the clouds, is there?
Not unless you can fly.
I eye my bag for a
Besides,
second.
would you really want to? I mean,
Well, if there's no, I'm just thinking if there's no storm as such, perhaps the cloud cover is precisely that, cover.
Rook will reach into his pocket and pull out a little falcon.
Mhm.
Hey, fly as high as you can and see if you can get through that cloud cover, and then come straight back to me.
The falcon lowers its body for a second before lifting itself up into the air. And you watch as it begins to circle around in order to climb up. in
Mhm.
altitude. And you watch as it disappears amongst the clouds.
Will you feel when it explodes inevitably?
I can only see through its senses while it's within 100 feet.
Okay.
And even then, I don't feel it. It's a falcon. It's not me.
No, I meant like it because you assume you summon it, correct? It's not an actual falcon.
No, it's not an actual falcon.
So will you be able to know if it ceases
Perishes.
to be?
I summon it. It exists for an amount of time that I can sustain it for, but it requires no additional input from me, so if it's there or not, I don't feel it. Unless I try to enter its senses, and I can't.
It is an X paddle. Sorry, yes. Okay.
But I've given it the command to return once it gets through the top, so whenever it comes back, it can relay via the connection we have.
That's good. I guess we wait then.
As you're saying this, Rook, it lands on your outstretched arm. You convey or converse. You talk with the falcon.
Have a little powwow with the falcon.
Yeah. You chat with the falcon, and the memory that it conveys to you is circling upwards and upwards and upwards and passing through this incredibly thick cloud, the moisture within clamming up the feathers a little bit before it merges on the other side to a dark sky above, starless, before it splits, it dives back down through the clouds again and swoops towards you.
Oh, good.
Did it indicate that it was like daytime, or oh no, we're in the evening?
It is
aren't we?
nighttime. Yeah.
Yeah. Starless, as in.
Yeah.
As in no stars.
No, I thanks for that.
Lessing of stars.
Yeah, without stars.
But
Sounds
I'm trying to work out
it
what. I'm trying to work out why there would be no stars.
Mm.
Yeah. No, you do that.
Oh, everyone's very saucy today.
Yeah, Rook sort of sits there for a moment, thinking.
Did it give you an idea of how thick? How long had it been from when Brooks initially sent it up to when it came back down?
Couple of minutes.
Okay.
Past the cloud cover, there aren't any stars in the sky.
That's strange. Normally the cloud cover would be blocking the stars. But if there's no...
Did the Falcon Relay see the moons?
It did not, no.
That drunk wasn't as drunk as we thought.
All it saw above the clouds was a pitch blackness.
The moon's not real.
This is bad.
How late in the day? Like, so obviously it's... But, like, is it midnight? Is it, like, 8 o'clock? Is it sort of late afternoon getting into evening?
Say about 7, 8 o'clock in the evening.
And this time of year, would the sun have completely gone down, or would it? Could it? I'm just trying to think for there to be a starless sky. Like, could the sun have like been just cresting the horizon, and therefore the light pollution be causing the lack of stars, but I doubt
Possibly.
it. Hmm. I lean back and ponder.
Might explain why I felt so distant from Ceylon recently.
It's true.
But I felt that a little since we were in the ruins.
I mean, I labor to think that we let something out, but nevertheless, I don't like how any of this is panning out.
Either that or something from the same time. Is that ruin made an appearance somewhere else
Hmm.
and has begun to take action?
Wayne's gonna start rummaging through his bag.
Okay.
I know we said that it could be Iron Tooth's doing, but I don't know about Fey abilities, but somehow this seems beyond even her. I mean, the weather is one thing, but to obscure the stars themselves is something else.
Not here. Not on this plane. From what my mother had told me, and she didn't tell me much, the control that some powerful Fae had over the denizens in the Feywild was pretty terrifying, but they didn't have that same control in the material. One of the reasons she came here. I don't think it's all connected, but it's looking like it's all going to be our problem.
Does anyone have any rope?
Yeah,
Sure.
I have an explorer's kit that has everything that an explorer kit has except a bedroll.
Okay. I have an idea.
Oh, we're doomed.
You're not going to like it.
Well, we didn't like it when you said you had an idea, so...
You're very sassy today, Roshana.
Today?
I have
Sorry,
a rope
you're
as well.
very sassy in this life, Roshana. I'm considering if you all completely tie me up as best as possible, and I reach into, or somehow reach into your bag of holding and pull out the staff to
Wait.
ask you
Oh.
questions, because for something to have this level of magic I mean, the fact that even those in the city are unsure of it, and it's
Yeah.
been weeks of them researching it.
I see where you're going with this. And I would have to say I don't particularly approve, but
I mean, I don't want to
It may-
do it, but it might give us information.
unfortunately.
Because this is some high, confusing level of magic, if it is magic. And
Alright, let's get the rope. DM, are there any trees around?
There's plenty of trees around, and Rashonda goes, how about no?
I'll relax. I was gonna tie him to the trunk.
I also object to this interrogation, at least for the moment.
as yet,
Oh.
I've been completely fine for the most part with talking to him.
Yeah.
Okay, Rook, then what do you suggest? Because we're not the Academy, we are not the Guild, and they no doubt have resources way beyond anything we could attain.
Yeah, so why don't we go to the academy or the guild and let them figure it out?
That's that's just it, Roshana, is that they've been trying, and
Yeah,
as
but
far as we know,
they don't know that we have this.
right,
I see
but
your point. But we don't even know if we can get in the city.
So
I
our
mean-
idea is to speak to
somebody
some
who
really
actually
old
was
guy from ages ago who wants to take over one of our bodies.
I mean, Roshana, do you have any magic that would help protect one or ward one from such an attempts?
Particularly I was thinking of healing and attack for if you were going against the hag today.
Yeah, but
It doesn't have to be today. We have time before we get to. We can discuss this over the next couple of days. It doesn't have to be now. I'm just trying to think of a way to get some answers about this storm, because it's for the stars to be hidden, even above the clouds. I don't. That's obviously not natural. I mean, the storm isn't natural, but the whole thing
To
seems very
play-
strange.
to play devil's advocate for a moment. We have a being who is likely centuries or millennia old.
3,000 years.
Even
old.
if we were to take him to the guild or the academy, they would be at the same risk that we are now, being taken over and puppeted. How is
Yes, but they're a lot more experienced than us. They certainly have the means to protect themselves better than just us standing out here with nothing but.
That is true. But in the same vein, no pun intended, they are, if we were to hand it to someone truly powerful and they were to get under its spell. I'm not saying that we should do this now. I appreciate everything you're saying, and I do agree with you. But if we were to hand it to someone who is already powerful and then they get taken over, that would be terrifying.
and if we hand it over to someone that's not powerful, then how would we have that conversation? Someone would have to be basically a volunteering for, well, the suicide mission.
I think the point that Vane might have been making is that if they're not particularly powerful and they are restrained, then even if they are possessed, then if the individual can't get anywhere, then that's just an opportunity for us to discuss and speak with them.
But
And then
Exactly.
I don't think a man who has over 3,000 years of knowledge is suddenly going to be bereft of everything just because he's in someone else's body.
yeah, he could, if he was the master of that great spellcrafter that landed that ruin there, if he even has a fraction of the magic he wants, if he's able to, summon even an ounce of it, then who knows
Yes.
what he can do. Some of the spells there were powerful and archaic
Yes.
from an age where they needed to be.
As I say, I am happy to. Sorry, Rishan. I am happy to not do this. I just. Perhaps it's just that we're obviously during our travels we're not doing anything to help, and I'm getting a bit antsy. Maybe that's why I recommended it.
Not today, anyway.
We have time to discuss, to decide, and to put in safeties should we decide to do it. Though I do agree, Roshana, that even if one of us is the one to do it, doing it in the safety of the city, in the safety of people who may be able to
Stop him.
stop him, or even hold him.
At the very least, we would need some strength that prevented teleportation.
Yes, but saying that, he didn't immediately teleport or use any spells when he took over Kato.
I mean,
Though Kato is not innately magical, so I
if
don't know if
he
that has
didn't
anything to do
feel
with it.
threatened and there was an opportunity to learn more about his circumstance.
Well, I suppose that's true. Well, we can table it and discuss it for now.
Plus, we can be cautious, but we're going to need to trust at least some people, at least within the guild or the academy, with what we've learned.
Yes.
Oh, we can,
But we have to be
probably
selective.
trust Lady Alvec.
And Gilmore.
Yes.
Very well. I sort of pack my bag back up and put the two pieces of the millstone in on the top and kind of fold it over. Well, if we get some rest, then we can set
Sure.
off early in the morning.
Yes. I will take watch.
Very well.
Here, have an owl.
I've missed that. Take an owl.
No, wait,
A
what am I
shield,
doing?
have an owl.
There's a falcon already here. Have him.
Take this owl, take the shield.
And the owl does the same job.
I'll do that again.
Alrighty. Kato, please give me a perception check. With advantage, I believe. Yes.
You said a perception?
Yes, please. Okay.
It's good to be back.
He didn't fall asleep, as far as we're aware. So
It's an interesting night. The earth doesn't cool as it normally should, releasing the
Oh.
heat that has been gathered during the day back up into the sky with the lack of cloud cover. You are very much covered by the cloud above, and you feel your eyelids close every now and then. The falcon has to peck you awake.
been there.
At some point, you feel yourself drifting.
Oh no.
Rook and Vane, I'd like you to leave the chat, please.
Okay.
Oh,
Wait,
dear,
what?
oh dear.
What?
Bye.
Oh.
So, Kato,
Yes.
despite yourself, you find yourself laying your head down against the ground. Your eyelids close, and despite the falcon pecking away at you, you begin to enter the near silence and darkness of your sleep. Still drifting along the surface of the sleep cycle, you toss over. Eyebrows furrow, struggling to settle. A dull pain begins to grow behind your forehead. Nagging and nagging. You feel your chest becoming heavier as saliva creeps up your throat, followed by nausea. The muscles across your forehead tighten and tighten, and your eyelids scrunch into your eyeballs until the dull pain becomes sharp, and you stretch your eyelids apart. Awake. Shh! Be quiet! The outer edge of your sight is surrounded by green leaves and branches, as well as water clinging to the rim of your eyes. Instinctually, your hands move, pressing against the cold and damp dirt floor of the forest. And you look up and around you. A boy with white hair stands beside you, spying over the ridge of a large fallen log and shrouded by the surrounding canopy of trees, hidden from what lies beyond. Not being very tall yourself, you stand up on your tippy toes to look over the log. In the bright morning mist of the valley, you watch as darkly cloaked figures have gathered around the back of a large, closed-top wagon. You hear the dragging and shaking of chains, the closing of heavy doors, and the hefty clunk of a padlock being locked into place. Despite yourself, despite the horror of helplessness that you feel rising from within, you find your voice in an attempt to call out. The boy beside you sternly grips your arm. Your very small arm. Fingers digging into the flesh to warn and silence you. As he continues to watch the scene unfold in front of him with furrowed brows. You look back to see the hooded figures round the wagon and climb aboard. The wheels begin to turn, and the wagon moves towards the shadow of a large convoy, hidden within the mist. With the whinnying of the horses and the trundling of the wheels diminishing, the silhouette within the mist, too, also disappears. Your vision goes from you, but the pain remains. And it grows in intensity, radiating from behind your forehead to around your eyes, stabbing and drilling into the sockets. You shoot straight up and feel the heaviness on your head fall away as Ivory flits down beside you. You reach up to feel your skin around your face, and you feel a number of ridges where your owl has clawed at your face.
Oh. Am I bleeding?
A little bit. You hear in your mind, the sky.
I know.
You see Ivory's galaxy-filled eyes staring at the swirling dark clouds above.
Is it worse than when we went to sleep?
It's the same.
Okay.
The owl hops over to you.
They hold out an arm.
She climbs up and begins walking up your arm to stand on your shoulder. And with a blink, your vision shifts over as though you are beside yourself. Your sight focuses in on the individual blades of grass, the dwindling embers and minute sparks of the campfire, and the close-up of your own clothing as you realize that Ivory has lent you her sight. Look. Look. She cranes her head back to look up, and you see what she sees through her enhanced sight. The all-encompassing red glow of the clouds above.
A red glow.
A blanket of vibrant red, with streaks of what looks to be like bright red veins of lightning between the clouds in a silent storm.
Does it look like there's a center?
With the vision that she gives you right now, not immediately. Though you do feel, with a quick crouch, that Ivory jumps up from her stance on your shoulder, flaps up and up and up into the air.
You read my mind.
Above the canopy of the surrounding trees into the bitter cold wind of night, before she flaps open her wings and coats the breeze, scanning the area for you, as if understanding what you were thinking. From left to right, you see this red storm above covers the horizon. A dull red hue cast over the entirety of the landscape. From the outline of the tarnished mountains, the expanse of Clancomrie, beyond the thin crest of the wall directly north of you. And then, to the east, beyond the hills and across a slight river, against the backdrop of a large expanse of wood, you see a cylindrical torrent of bright red, almost white hot, seems to descend down from the sky and spirals around a point on the ground. However, you see that the clouds surrounding this tower of energy seem to bulge and swirl around it before diffusing out to form the storm that has crept across this part of Colburn.
This pillar, does it seem like it's towards Whitehorn, or is it like, or Whitethorn, or is it just out Gretson? Okay.
As the realization sets in, Ivory's vision gets tossed for but a moment, and your vision returns to you as you see the form of your white owl plummets towards the ground, and with a she hits the ground in a plume of white feathers that disappear into a sparkle of glitter as her form disappears.
Did it seem like it was the wind, or was it more physical?
Hard to tell. She only lent you her sight, and you saw nothing approach you.
The redness of the horizon, was that consistent with the cloud cover, or did it seem to go beyond the cloud cover?
It seemed consistent with the cloud cover. Although, looking around you now, there is no red glow.
Okay. Ooh. Vibrates with the cold sweat. He just kind of mutters to himself. Like Gratsum. I have to go to Gratsum.
And with that, your watch comes to a close.
I will wake up Vane.
Alrighty. 2 ticks, please. We'll get these buggers back.
Okay.
Or I'll get them, never mind.
We
Big job,
we
anyway.
were theory blasting in there.
Theory blasting.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit,
by the
we've got
way,
a game!
Okay.
we
fine.
all yeah, you're all dead. I saw all of you die. Vane, you actually did die on a boat. Funny that.
Why is that funny?
Oh, because you know what your friend said about, dying and
Oh no,
getting
he
eaten.
died in the jaws of a monster.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Well. There's giant monsters in the ocean, I'm sure.
How reassuring. We thought the jaws of the monster might have been when he got chomped by Granny. It's good to know that that wasn't the chomping they were referring to.
That was the first of many jumping.
that was a coincidental chomping. Are we still asleep?
I am waking up Vane.
Okay, I'll go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You're-
What is it, my guy?
You notice he looks
Yes.
visibly shaken.
You alright, Kato?
I'll explain in the morning, but we can't go into the city yet.
Care to explain?
I just said I explain in the morning.
Well, yes, but you can't really just say that and then go to bed. Well, you look panicked. What's wrong? Something happened?
Gratsum. I have
Okay.
I have on fairly good authority that Gratsum is the source.
What authority? What? How long have I been asleep? Are you okay?
No.
What's up, buddy?
Just take watch. I'll explain when everyone's up.
Okay. I mean, like, fry squints at Kato. Mm-hmm. You get some rest, buddy.
I'll try.
Okay.
Thanks.
I'm gonna keep a watch on Kato.
Can I just say I briefly forgot about keeping watch and was trying to think of why Kato would be like, Vane, wake up! I have to tell you something in the morning. We should rest though.
Wake up!
about
I
it when I
gotta tell
wake
you
up.
something. I gotta tell you something. What is it? No, never mind. I'll tell you in the morning. What?
You just woke me up for this?
What do you mean? Never mind.
Dear. Right. Yeah, I will. I'll take a normal watch, but I will be keeping a very, very, very close eye on Kato.
Okay. Please roll me perception check.
14.
The eeriness of
Do I get a
words.
boat?
No.
Oh.
Where is there water?
I don't know. I've been told I'm getting a boat.
In the air.
Yeah, actually,
my
yeah.
God.
Good point. The clouds, obviously. I'm getting a cloud boat. Awesome. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Your watch goes by quietly.
Okay.
Who would you like to wake up?
I am going to wake up Rashana.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, sorry. It's watch.
Okay.
Please keep an eye on Kato. When he woke me up for my watch, he was very strange. He said he's got to tell us something in the morning, but something about Gretzem, and he has it on good authority. He knows what the source is. He looked panicked, but yes, just keep an eye on him.
So he told you all this and thought, yes, now I'm going to sleep, and
Yes,
you
pretty
just have
much.
to- okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of rude, if you ask me.
I'll keep an eye.
It's just he hasn't been tossing and turning as far as I could tell, but he looked shaken, most definitely.
Right. Well,
And if you need anything, I'm sure Rook will be around.
yeah.
But if you need anything, also just wake me up.
See you in the morning for this
In the morning.
revelation.
Indeed. And I cozy up back into bed. God damn. She sees everything.
Rook,
Ah,
it's your turn.
okay. What shift am I on?
Final.
Oh, neat.
I know.
I get to watch the sun rise. He
Um,
stares at her blankly.
Yeah. Good one.
Yeah.
She awkwardly just walks away and nestles down to sleep.
I'm getting better. I'll perch up. Maybe grab. Well, I was gonna say grab a couple more sticks for the fire, but I think it's actually still hot enough, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you had a little fire going just to,
Mm-hmm.
keep the base camp going. Little bit of light. But yeah, no. When you wake up, you definitely don't feel like you need to keep coaxing it.
Yeah, I need to figure out a way to deal with this water. Pain in the ass. I'll hunker down and lean on my shield and start keeping watch.
Alrighty, give me a perception check with advantage, please.
I'll just when I start the rest, I will summon another like falcon, and just send him up and say, "Let me know when the sun is rising."
Mm-hmm.
Can I just confirm that you're not starting a rest, you're starting a watch?
I'm starting to watch. Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that was because like I instantly fall asleep.
Yeah. Perception.
Well,
Well, I might.
if you give the falcon the shield, you don't need to take a watch. You just need to find a bird big enough to carry the shield.
Yeah. I'll send this
Easy.
trustworthy vulture I summoned. Good
Yep.
boy.
Alrighty. With that, you yeet the falcon into the air and it begins its ascent. And after about 2 hours or so, the falcon returns with the sight that the sun is on the horizon, and it is coasting up over the cloud cover.
Anything of particular note about how the sky changed with the sun coming up?
Not really, no. It goes through the natural progression of colors. No red, no red sky and morning, sailor's warning, or anything like that, no.
Sure.
But, yeah. Salmon pink to, blue. Down the rainbow route.
And similar, like starless sky.
Still starless, yeah.
Yeah, I'll end of the rest, wake everyone, and start getting the horses ready.
You look over and you see Rajana and Vane, as much as they got their rest, and you all got a long rest, their eyes are still awake. Still open, sorry.
Cached?
Sorry?
As in, they never went to sleep, or?
Oh no, they did, but they seem to have woken early.
Ah.
Is Kato up yet?
Kato.
Am I up?
Don't know, are you?
I would imagine so. If morning's come.
Kato, wake up!
Ugh.
So I shake him.
I also go over and shake him.
Rashana comes over and shakes you too. Start pulling at your leg.
Oh my God.
Okay, what is it? What is it?
Come on.
Spit it out.
Out with it, you crazy old man.
Right. Well, I was on my watch, but I had fallen asleep, and when I came to, Avery was waking me up.
Who?
His owl.
Bamf the owl.
Oh, that's okay. Sorry, I didn't know your name was Ivory. Hello.
But
Continue.
I saw through her vision, and the clouds weren't clouds at all. It was this red, crackling sky. And it seemed to be stemming from I can only describe as a pillar of energy coming from Gratsum.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Gratsum is the town that merchant wanted us to go to.
Yes.
Yes.
Which merchant?
The one at the dinner.
The one that ambushed us at
warriors,
the
yeah.
celebration.
Oh, the the party crasher.
Party
Yes.
crasher,
Yes.
yes.
I think whatever's happening in Gratsum is probably the cause of this storm.
Gratsum's also where that alcohol comes from.
That's true.
Well, that's
And-
more than a coincidence.
When I was last in Gratsum, that was when we were, well, kind of chased out of the village as such, kind of, but not really. We left in a rush because of the
Killing.
well, yes, but the people there were very boisterous and violent, sort of how the alcohol makes people. So.
Well,
Which is why I'm saying we can't go into the city yet. I think we have to go to Gratsum.
If that's truly where the alcohol's coming from, then we do need to stop it. And if it's also the source of all this, it's strange that the clouds would come from the north, but originate from Gratzum. But if it is pulling this direction, we need to do something about it.
Agreed.
What was the name of the gent?
Well, I would say it's highly likely that the booze comes from there if it's called Gratzen Gruel.
Yes, I was thinking the same.
And
Do we?
Hernan back at the tavern, he said a group had delivered it.
I don't think we can worry about the group at this point. I think instead of going after a limb, we go for the head.
That's wise. I mean, it's a lot to go off for a vision through owl's eyes, but even that aside, too many things point the Gratzum to ignore.
Yeah.
Yes. Plus, what cut off her vision, it seems she was suddenly buffeted. I don't know whether it was wind or something else, but something cut the connection abruptly.
So this red sky, what exactly did she see? It was
just the sky. Instead of the clouds, it was red, crackling with energy. And the energy seemed to swirl from a pillar that was centered on Gratzum.
interesting.
And the redness had stretched all the way to the cloud cover, all the way over the horizon.
Well,
Might be worth putting this down in the journal to the guild.
Yes.
Even if it's not.
I'll do that. I'll do that now.
Even if it's not, you will need to check this out, but just to make them aware that there could be something there.
Last I
So,
checked, just before you do, last time we checked, nobody was around the Gratzum area when we were thinking of passing off the merchant's job.
That's true. Everyone else was a continent away.
It might be worth, if possible, having a more private correspondence with someone like Gilmore.
Well, we can
Right.
ask for the message to not
Sorry.
be sent to the
I'm just
other.
bringing up the
Yep.
the notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's super far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that was a while ago, but like it's still super far away. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
probably hasn't changed.
We can
the
ask
reason
for the message not to be sent to the rest of the guild, the rest of the companies, but or groups or whatever
Well,
they call.
or correct me if I'm wrong, but there were separate sections that were 2 groups, and then another section for the guild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or you can send to all as well.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we could send it effectively directly to the guild heads via
Right.
whoever writes it down.
The only reason I suggest such a thing is if this is going on in Gratzum and it's related to the issues the merchant was having and to the ale distribution, it means that there is a fairly hefty network of individuals who even inadvertently are, working on this plan. And I don't know about you guys, but if I had some grand plan that would affect large amounts of areas, I would want to have an ear to the institutions I think might be likely to get involved.
Well, yeah,
Yes,
makes sense.
I concur. Something this widespread will likely need eyes and ears on the inside.
I mean, we can only hope
Is
that the transcriber of these notes is infallible.
there a way to send directly to Gilmore? Well, I guess since it is morning vein, you could just directly deposit ascending to Gilmore.
Yes, but the last few sendings I can try.
That's true.
I mean,
Alright.
our plans aren't going to change too much on the journey over. If we think
No.
a day will make a difference, you could always do it at the end of the day, just in case.
Yes. Worst case scenario, we're going in by ourselves.
I think that'll be the case anyway.
Right.
More than likely.
So, we have an accord.
I'm happy to shift direction.
Yes, same.
Okay.
Rashana?
To Gretzham then.
To
I guess
Gratzum.
it's decided.
Rook will stand up and stretch, and then over an area that includes our gear, and the party is going to cast Destroy Water to get rid of the moisture in her clothes and in her
Oh,
skin.
yes,
Very
Rook,
nice.
our our walking dehumidifier.
Beautiful.
That is
The-
surprisingly nice.
Yeah.
10
Um,
gallons of humidity gone. Amazing.
And just remember, I can bring it back, Kato, so don't cross me.
He can bring all of that 10 gallons back just on you.
That story about someone using create destroy water to fill someone's lungs with water.
Yeah.
That's a very lenient
Yeah.
DM.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And remember, if you can do it to someone, they can do it to you.
My favorite rule.
I remember the first time you mentioned it because I spoke about creating sand in someone's lungs.
Yeah.
We are not
So,
Yeah, we're not lying. The guy that we were collared by at the celebration day, was
Mhm.
that Turboram Bardax? Or is that a different person?
You tell me.
I don't know if I've ever heard that name before.
Turboram Bardax of Bardak's house.
Surely you know Tender
I
and
mean,
Bardak.
Torbrin sounds vaguely familiar. Bardax, that's a new word I learned 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, you remember Listar Lavery,
Nope.
the Duke of Colburn.
Alrighty. Well, I know this is a short one, but I think we'll leave it here for tonight, guys.
That's
fair.
fair.
But yeah.
Well, you say it was a short one. That was 4 hours.
Yeah, still.
That's
Yes.
shorter than usual.
But hey, look, we have direction. Love direction.
We do, yes.
It came to Kato in a dream.
It literally did. Well, I guess
But Kato doesn't have
not.
dreams.
Yeah. Was it
Damn.
your dream? Well, I guess it wasn't your dream. It was the owl's dream. Was it?
No,
Or
this was.
were you dreaming
Oh,
in the owl?
I was woken up by my owl literally clawing my face. So
Ah. What were
That
you
serves you
doing
right for
asleep?
falling asleep. I knew it was coming.
well, listen. No one missed their watch, so all's well that ends well.
Yeah,
Kato
thanks,
gets
Ivory.
woken up by an owl clawing at his face, and just as about to impart this incredibly dangerous information, a falcon swing by and nabs the owl.
Oh my god.